That's the Messiah. Now who wanted to prevent the rise of somebody who could save you? That is the pinnacle of wickedness. Here, Hoover's fathers brought you out of Africa. That's right. Come on. Hoover's people sentenced you to mental death by robbing us of self-knowledge. This is the greatest crime that white people could have committed against us. Listen, to rob us of the knowledge of self. Take away our history, our connection to our past, so that by not knowing what was, we couldn't determine what is. And we were not ready for what was to come. By that robbery, we would be perpetual slaves of white people, and we would never be able to be redeemed. And that's why Jesus...
The other aspect of consciousness is what we call the directional aspect. It's not enough just to have the skills to process information. You see, and to organize it, you got to organize it for a reason, to achieve a particular point, to satisfy some value, some wish, or some need. You see, I was looking at a discussion here the other evening with a very esteemed public intellectual who apparently had the capacity to reason and think very well. He's been educated in philosophy. And who has apparently a good deal of knowledge. They were supposed to be talking about alternatives to black problems and black leadership. And I didn't see one black problem discussed at all during that 2 hours. No issue confronting the black community was dealt with at all. Oh, but there was plenty of reasoning. There was plenty of knowledge being displayed there and so forth. But nothing in the sense of applying it to the end of liberating black folk. Applying it to the end of gaining freedom and enhancing the quality of life of black folk. You see, so even though you may have the knowledge and the content, even though you may know black history, even though you may know African history, that's not quite enough yet. Even though you may have the logical skills, it's not quite enough yet. You have to value African people. You have to value African liberation. You have to value African people being empowered and free and self-sufficient and doing for self. That has to be a value, so that when you think and when you process what you know, using logic and abstraction and so forth, it will be processed under the direction of trying to achieve those values.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Cassidra? I look like we got Nicole in the building today too. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. All right, Nicole, what's going on? Welcome.
You there? What's going on, Nicole? How you doing? You there? If you speaking, you on mute.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I was trying to take myself off mute.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you joined us today. You sure you want to get yourself in some trouble when messing with me and Cassidra?
Yep.
Nicole always ready.
All
Always.
right. All right. That's what's up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, so how you doing today, Cassidra?
Good. Ready to go. I'm good. What about you? How your
I'm
week
good.
been?
Kind of crazy, but it's all good. But
Okay.
yeah. So and yeah, today we're gonna talk about Black History. I'm gonna try to go through that part as fast as we can, but I do want to show you a couple things before we get to that part, though, Cassidra, and
Sound
Nicole.
good.
All right, and the first thing I want to show you, and this one is for you though, Cassidra. Your boy here, you've been saying play this one.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I'm
my goodness.
Sheriff
I
Lucius
love him.
Emerson and was the first black sheriff elected in Alabama in 1966. The Klan did not like this and put a $50,000 bounty on my head. They never collected. I walked into Macon County Sheriff's Office and every white deputy walked out the same day. So I hired Vietnam veterans, men who already knew how to make problems disappear. 17 Klan leaders vanished during my 8 years in office. When asked, I said they must have moved. When the Klan shot up my house, 2 Klan families woke up the next morning to burning barns. When they bombed my office, 3 Grand Dragons turned up floating in the river. I didn't fight their terror, I became it. The Klan offered $50,000 for my head, but lost 20 members finding out why you don't threaten a black sheriff with nothing to lose. I am Sheriff Lucius Emerson.
There you go, Cassidra, your boy Sheriff Lucius.
Man, hey, that right there is a dream come true. If Black folk operated like that forecast, we'd be good. I swear, we wouldn't have nothing to worry about. Nobody would say nothing to you because you knew that you're gonna disappear. Or no, not even disappear. You're gonna leave town, okay? And that's how we should be operating right there. This should be something that we everybody in their household should know about. Lucius. Sheriff Lucius, because this right here is a model for Black America, for Black folk all across the world. If they come after you, you come after them first. You take care, you handle the problem. You got to leave town. You can't come around here acting a fool and be happy. And you definitely can't come around bombing folk houses and not have to leave town. You got to go. And that's how we need to operate right now. Right now. You ain't got to advertise it. You just when they come up in your face, you don't say nothing, just smile. Cause you know later on you're gonna lose, you don't leave town. That's all. And I rest with that. I love it.
Yeah. What you think about that, Nicole?
I
Nicole, you
Okay.
ain't
agree.
sleep on me.
My thing is delayed because I'm watching it on my TV and I'm looking at it on my phone too,
Oh, okay, okay.
but it's delayed.
Yeah, you might have to listen to it on your phone because the
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
playback
have to
might
do
throw you
because
off.
I'm behind. But yeah, I agree. I agree. You know, I heard it's a lot of different things that happen. They black people wasn't just sitting back being docile. They said they was up fighting. They don't tell you those stories though.
Nope, facts, and that's why we here to tell you all about the Black history. We're gonna get to it.
They,
Um,
we need more like that now instead of trying to pander and be united with them folks as they say. And just like with Jasmine Crockett when she was doing her campaigning and she was doing a little bit less dancing and selling whip tickets like she was and trying to she went hard for them immigrants and stuff and all of them voted against her. You know what I'm saying? Because she pandering for the wrong people instead of rallying up her people. And giving them something, maybe she may have won, or she may have won, but they keep dancing with them and thinking they gonna let them lead. You know what I'm saying? Keep dancing with the devil and think they gonna let them lead and they ain't going nowhere with it. They just ass out. You follow me?
And hopefully she learned from that. You ain't giving up nothing. We ain't giving up
Mom,
nothing either. Go
can y'all
after
hear
them
me?
folks. Yep, we hear you. Go after them folk that that
Hello?
you pandering to.
I can't hear y'all. I don't know what this is about.
she might have to go out and come back in.
I can't hear y'all. I don't know what this is about.
She might have to go out and come back in. Yeah, if you hear me, just leave out and then come back in, and then maybe, and I think your sound will be fixed. Um, but yeah, let me see. I don't know if she heard me, but okay, yeah, there she go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, you can hear now.
I can hear you real well.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's up with StreamYard because mine do the same thing when I like stop sharing and stuff like that for some reason. So I don't know.
Can you
Um,
guys hear me okay?
yeah, I hear you good.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so
but
I'm
she ain't
curious.
never, have no, she ain't never had no smoke for black folks. It was always about the immigrants. And
I can't hear
Nicole,
you.
when you're not talking, you're gonna have to mute your mic. But yeah, she didn't have no smoke. She had all that smoke for the immigrants. Had so much to say for them. She was crying for the little white girl that died, and But how much? What did she say about black folk or to black people? So this is showing her, look, you ignore us, and you're gonna get exactly what you got, nothing, because you're not gonna get my vote for free. I promise you that. You're not talking reparations, not talking about giving black folks something. Then guess what? It's called quid pro quo, right? You scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch yours. Or we're gonna banana neglect you like you've been doing us. We're gonna ignore you. And it's okay. Either way you want to do is however you want to do it. You want to give us something, then you can have my vote. But you're not gonna get it for free. And you're not gonna get it before you give me what I deserve. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna rest with that.
All right, and Nicole said she couldn't hear, so I think she's gonna try to come back again. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this system, so but I am curious to hear what y'all have to say about this. Of course, it's European culture here. All right, can you hear me, Nicole?
Yes.
All right. So I'm curious about what y'all have to say about this here, though.
All right, let's get into this video. And white women still back these men up. I made a video with the two men from Two Bears, One Cave. And this man states that he heard that you are supposed to get aroused when you pick up your kid. And when he picked up his kid, and mind you, he has daughters, that he wasn't getting aroused. And these two men are laughing, saying, I was wondering why I wasn't getting aroused. This is not funny to me. Now, the sad part is I have a bunch of white women in my comment section and white men in my inbox stating, hey, man, it's just a joke. And I stated that white men find these things funny because historically, they have always found these things funny. And this woman stated that white women back them up. And this is true.
All right, so we're gonna spare you of the European
First time you hang
jokes.
out and hold your kid by yourself, you're gonna get hard. And this is why we constantly keep running into these kind of topics. And this also doesn't mean that there is no black or women abusers in.
You already know how Negroes got to do, but what you think about that?
Yuck. I mean, that's what they. I mean, I'm from what I'm knowing what I know now. That's what they've been doing. They've been doing that. It's something that's a part of their DNA, I believe. It's something they've
That's
been doing.
true.
That's why they got cousins. That's their sisters, and their daddy is their uncle too. So
Yeah, it's their culture is Greek. They come from that Greek home, that Greek culture. So yeah, it is definitely in their DNA. What you
Did he
think?
say what I think? Did he say what I heard? I think I heard him say something about he gets hard when he holds his newborn.
Yeah, his
yes,
child. Yeah,
What kind of shit is that? Who talks like that? But see, this is why the Epstein, this is why the list, I'm gonna just say the list, I ain't gonna say no names. This is why nobody's being arrested. Because these demons, these damnable bastards been acting like this and doing this to their kids and themselves and their moms and their dads since the beginning of history. You have to understand who these people are. I keep telling you that these people are Satan's seeds. And this is why they're so demonic. And this is why they act the way they act. Who can actually hang a person, watch them burning in his mouth? or who can actually cut a baby out of somebody's stomach, who can actually feed another baby to an alligator. These are not normal people. But we keep wanting to marry them, we keep mixing and mingling with them, and then we wonder why our children, these half-breed babies, come out acting crazy, talking about killing people, because that's part of their DNA. That is who they are. Those are not humans. If you can sit up there and tell me you didn't had you cannibalizing people and you've been feeding us a human meat all this time, and you laugh about it, or you talk about when you hold your newborn, you get hard. What kind of shit is that? I'd be watching it with my child. That's what you need to be doing, because a lot of women that's marrying these men, they're molesting their real daughters. And now a black lady came on YouTube or Instagram and was complaining about it. She just found out that her husband, who's white and she's black, has been molesting and sleeping with his own daughter. But this is what they do. But we don't understand it. We think it's odd behavior. It's not. That's what they do. All their kids, the mamas, the daddies that sleep with them. The Mendez, who was the Mendez boys? Remember the new Mendez? You remember them little Mexican boys, right? Their dad was messing with them, and they said they was trying to get out of it. But guess what? They went to jail because they killed their parents, because they said the mom knew about it and did nothing, and she was doing it too. So this is what they do. This is why nobody has been arrested with them files yet. Nobody went to jail, and I'm arrested with that.
And you know what? They in jail for the rest of their life, and they didn't do them but take their money. They wanted that estate and all their money, so they didn't care nothing about what happened to them boys. They put them in jail so they can get it done to them in jail. And the state of Florida kept all their money and their assets.
And that's what, see, but them boys shouldn't have went to jail. They was trying to get away from them parents. They was trying to get away. And they had, people was testifying that, what they were seeing. But you could see in one of the pictures where his hand was with the little boy. So that's showing you right there. But that's what Florida does. Instead of us protecting our children, instead of them protecting their children, I should say, they know, they see pictures, but is anybody getting arrested? No. Yeah, the head honcho in charge, your president. Is anybody getting arrested? No. But I'm arrested with that.
And let me say, shouts out to Matron in the building. No, you're not late. We really just getting started. So shouts out to
It's a
Matron in
part
the
of their
building.
elitist organization. That's right. Him and that fake Jewish man over there, and all these other people that's okaying it. It's a part of their rituals, so their demonic, satanic rituals and things like that. They it's just real disgusting.
But
Yeah,
welcome, matron. And yes, those are some very disgusting people.
yeah,
That's what
and
they do.
and yeah, and I do got. And by the way, yo, I meant to like text you something, but I'm gonna text you something
That's why they don't
tomorrow.
want nobody getting an abortion, because they need more babies to eat.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. You know why I don't talk about it though? Is because they put like pedophiles on the side of a mountain. Like who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like look at the people they put on the side of a mountain and tell me they aren't like like known pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? So this is Neanderthal culture, you know what I'm saying? Um so I'm curious to what y'all have to say about, all right, we'll go to the next one so we can get to the Black History part.
Attempting to kidnap her child.
Did someone try
Look
to
at
take you?
now this white girl in straight lie here.
A man was accused by this woman of attempting to kidnap her child.
Did someone try to take you from mommy?
Yeah. I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby
Little
out
big head baby talking about some
him
yeah.
because he was trying to snatch him.
Someone tried to snatch your baby?
Yeah.
Police say it was a man, 56-year-old Mental.
Disaster was narrowly averted, she said.
Now that Arab dude here
Sister was
trying to
unharmed
kiss
as
up to
well.
a white girl.
Something Miller is grateful for today.
It was a warning to others, she said.
There really are people out here, and a mile radius right now, that have ill intentions, that are targeting people, that are planning to do these things. Just be prepared for it when it does.
But as it turns out, that was actually a lie. But that didn't keep cops and prosecutors from keeping this completely innocent man in jail for 47 days.
Multiple guns being pointed at him. They treated him like a criminal.
My brother Anthony.
More that these defendants in my lawsuit got on him.
And not to
now
say
this is what happened. She said She said he took it, but the thing is, she done already lied, and another
Helping
black man
mother
had to take a
with
plea
arthritis
deal.
medication. Meanwhile, this woman is riding around Walmart on a mobility scooter, even though she's not disabled. Her kids are literally hanging off of it as she just putts around the store. The man can't find what he's looking for, so when he sees this woman, he asks
Let me
her
go
if
ask
she
the damn
knows
white
where he
girl.
can find it. Then all hell breaks loose. As I mentioned, this man ends up spending 47 days in jail over what were obviously false accusations. And as it turns out, this may not have been her first time. A lawsuit was just filed. I got the chance to speak to his civil rights attorneys. This is Solomon Radner from Detroit, Michigan, as well as his brother Counsel, who has a YouTube channel that you should definitely.
Yeah, don't
And
worry
he
about that.
was going to a Walmart. He was actually going to pick up some medication for his mother, and he has trouble locating it. He's
So
not.
let me go ask
he
a
shops
white
at
girl.
Walmart. They usually have these medications on order. It's a very special type of Tylenol. It wasn't just a regular Tylenol. It was specific for maybe his mother who had like severe arthritis or something. It was a special type of Tylenol. He's there out of the blue. He can't really find it, and and one of the kids starts to fall off. So he, as a good citizen, as a good person, tries to help save the kid from falling off the.
So the more of the story, consider if you see a little white baby falling off anywhere, do not help at all.
Do not approach. Mind your business. I keep telling black folks, mind your business. I don't care if they laying in the middle of the damn street. Mind your business. Not your concern. Not your business. But they've been lying since the beginning of time and getting away with it. If they start bringing in these folk up on charges, you lie, somebody go to jail, then you're gonna take his place with his sentence. Seriously, you got to do something. But this is America. They don't correct nothing. You white, you okay, you do whatever you want to do. It's okay, as long as the Negroes don't do it. Now, when they do it, we're gonna give them 150 years just for a joint, or just for touching, or just for a kiss. You're gonna get 12 years for a kiss. When you didn't even rape somebody, but the little girl said, the boy, remember the little college boy? That's it. The college dude raped her, and found out he only kissed her and got 12 years anyway. That's what we're talking about. But y'all keep on marrying these people. Y'all keep on mixing and mingling and wanting to be friends with them. I told you, there's nothing normal about these people. They can't even hold themselves accountable. But I'm gonna rest with that one. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah, facts up. Mason said somebody got sued because they was trying to catch a falling baby that can't fall out a window. So, moral of
Well,
the
good.
story,
Mind your business.
right? Moral
Mind
of the
your business.
story. You see a
Okay,
little
I don't
white
know how
baby
many times
falling
we
out
got
a
to see
window.
it. Hey,
Right.
let them drop. Let them drop. What's the dude say? Why the babies? That's why. Right there. Khalid Muhammad say why the babies? Okay.
Yeah, you saw that little big head baby talking about some. Yeah.
Who said that?
Who said what?
The baby on the ad. We just saw the commercial.
Why the babies?
What'd you say? Who said what you talking about, Nicole?
Oh, you said they said why the babies. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Khalid Muhammad said why the babies? Everybody, because they was talking about getting rid of folk, right? And then he even said the babies, and they said why? Why the babies? That's why. They not safe.
I told you might get in trouble messing with us, but that's all right.
All
Now,
right, peace and
Cassandra,
blessings.
I do
Peace
got to
and
show you
blessings.
this
All
one too
praises due to the
because
Most High.
this is your
Right,
girl
and just
here,
watch. So
the
there you see
OnlyFans
her
girl.
there sitting with her lawyer. She's blowing kisses to somebody in the courtroom.
Probably another black dude.
And then you're going to see her make some other motions, like she is completely unbothered that she is on trial for killing a black man, which was supposedly
She's
a
gonna get no
boy.
time. That's why.
Just watch this. Smiling, laughing, talking, making sexual gestures. Now,
So apparently, though, Cassidra, you can be caught running down the street the other way from a white girl and get charged. So who knows?
Exactly. And how much time did they end up giving her any time?
Nah, I think they still like talking about the
I can
trial
hear
now.
you, Cassie, but I can't hear forecast.
You might need to go out and come back in again. But yeah. But this is what they do though, because she knows that she's not gonna be held accountable. She knows that nothing she can say, she can say whatever she wants to say. He looked at her wrong, or he, self defense. And guess what? She gonna walk. But this is what we keep telling y'all: keep messing with their asses, and you're not gonna. They can kill you. They can do whatever they want to do, and they're not gonna pay. They're not gonna hold them accountable for one, and then they're going to get off for your murder. Just like the girl that shot the black dude, right? Called it in, told the truth, and then her lawyer got there and gave her what to say. Self-defense, she got off, right? Okay, keep messing with them. They don't have to prove nothing. All they have to do is say you started it and they finished it in self-defense, period. So hey, okay. Hopefully black folk learning from this, especially black men. Hopefully. I'm gonna rest with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. We probably doomed, Cassidra. You know that.
Look, I'm gonna keep hope alive though.
Keep hope alive. Now look at this. I don't know if Nicole is on here, if she can hear me or not. All right, my bad, y'all.
A man is on his own front porch at 3 a.m. Police walk up and tell him he's loitering. He says, "Dude, this is my house."
Camera video shows that moment.
For what? For what? What are y'all bothering me for?
Officers asked him to step off the porch several times. Then, just 10 seconds later,
Step off the porch. I'm not, stop grabbing me. What are you grabbing me for, bro? What are y'all doing?
Do you now have to prove that you live in your own home?
What you think about that, Cassidra?
Oh boy. Where's Lucius? Lucius, we got one. That's what I think of it. Lucius, let's handle some business. That's all. I'm just saying. We need Lucius. I'm telling you, we need Lucius on every force. We need a Lucius period in the black community. They put their hands on you, handle your business, you take them down, and then you good. Seriously. The man is on his own porch. What the hell are you on my porch for? You trespassing and then tell me to step off my porch. What am I coming down for? I'm going back in the bed. You can't even step outside now. But this is what they do when they get rid of. When is it going to be okay for us to fight back when they act like demons and devils? When they're actually trying to take your life, when is it okay? And this is what I wish somebody would answer. When is it okay for us to protect or fight for our lives? Because that right there, that black dude should have had every God-given right to handle his business. When that police officer put his hands on him, it should have been on and popping. And whoever wins, get to walk away. Seriously. Because they ain't shit without each other. They come in packs. But you grab one of them by themselves and they ain't nothing. But they want to manhandle because they know you as a black person gonna be scared to fight because you don't want to go to jail. But then they can kill you. Don't not be held accountable, and it's okay. No. When they act like that, that means you can do what you need to do to save your life. That's self-defense. And I'm gonna rest with that.
Yeah, facts. All right, and hopefully Nicole could be able to get back on soon. Now, speaking of babies and protecting our babies needs to be one of the main key things. And Matron says the babies because they will grow up to be white, just birth the most killers. Okay, so she's gonna be in
Exactly.
the chat. So if a black man gets shot by a white girl, he can get a street named after him, like Botham John in Dallas. Well, only if your brother goes and hugs them. And as a qualifier, the judge has to get down there and do it too. And then you can possibly have a street. You know what I'm saying? So
Wasn't that disgusting? Wasn't that disgusting? Oh my God. Ugh. Every time I think about that, it makes me want to fight. Make me want to go get a belt out on somebody.
all right. Yeah, okay, Nicole. And then yeah, Nicole, hopefully you can come up next time and it'll everything will go. I think StreamYard just be messing up too. So and yeah, you cool. You welcome to come up anytime, my brother. And any of y'all welcome to come up anytime too. it's more people listening to us than we know. Cassidra is just they for some reason don't be saying nothing in the chat, but it's all good. But shouts out to those in the chat who do, you know. Yeah, it's a sickness. But check this out though, Cassidra. What you think about this?
Hey man, you can't call them kids idiots. They ain't did nothing to you. They ain't did nothing to you. Don't call them no idiots. You said don't be coming in here acting like a bunch of idiots. Don't talk like that to them damn kids, man. Well, that's what they've been. Man, you crazy as fuck, man. You don't talk to nobody like that. Well, you don't talk to me like man, that. Fuck you. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. Get your pussy ass in the store while you talking crazy to kids, man. I'm not talking. I don't give a fuck. You don't talk to no child like that. Fuck wrong with you, boy. Okay. Get your pussy ass up out of here. Watch your motherfucking mouth to a motherfucking kid, bitch. Fuck wrong. Call who you gotta call, bitch. Call who you gotta call, bitch. You don't talk to no motherfucking kids like that. Get your bitch ass out of here. Nah, say something now. Puss ass bitch. Puss ass cracker. Watch your mouth, bitch. Yeah, nod your motherfucking head. That's the best thing for you to do, bitch. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. Don't talk to no motherfucking kids like that.
What you think about that, Cassidra?
All
And I
right
guess
now, black folk getting some balls. I'm loving it. You see, this is what I'm saying. When you challenge them, when you shut the bully down, what the bully do? They walk away. This is letting y'all know that y'all can say stuff. You don't have to be scared of white folk. Say what you gotta say, and they're gonna move the hell on. Seriously. When the bully got bullied, what happened? When the bully came up, said what he said to the black babies. And the black babies had some backup, right? What happened to the bully? He walked away. He shut up and he walked away, right? That's what you got to do. It's okay to handle your business. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to protect your baby. Because he would have talked his own like that. I guarantee you. But you got to disrespect ours. No. You need to hold yours accountable when they kill folk. Kyle Rittenhouse, Dylan Roof, Peyton, okay? You don't never hold them accountable. But you want to come and speak to black kids like that. No. I love it. I'll rest with that.
yeah, facts. And this is why it is important for black men if you see something like to just speak up, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't even gotta go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Just be like, hey, oh, don't do that. Or even if you
That's
gotta be
right.
like, excuse me, sir, please, sir. They's just kids. Please leave them alone. Like at least do that. You know what I mean? Like
Say something. Say something. How many times we just sit there and look and don't be saying nothing? We scared.
right.
Say something, please. Say
Excuse me, Mr. White man, sir. Please, they's just kids. Take me instead. Say that. You know what I'm saying? If you talk that way. Um. So
What up, my beautiful African family?
now check this out now, because I wonder, and this
Because
is as
since
black women, and like, because like they like to pick on children and women, or like who they think are helpless. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to protect
how to
yourself.
report on this insane situation.
And
So
then we about to
check
get to
this out.
Black
It
History in a
says
minute.
two men identified as 33-year-old Michael James and 31-year-old Michael Santiago, the two Mikes over here, have been arrested after a bizarre and disturbing scene in New York in which James called a woman the N-word before setting her boots on fire in what authorities are describing as a hate crime, according to the Independent. You think that might be a hate crime? Maybe just a little bit of hate crime. A lot of bit of stupidity, though. And check out this little bit of diabolical piece of information that I think just puts into perspective what crazy times we live in, because you couldn't do this 50 years ago. And I don't think the Klan,
What?
as silly and stupid as they are this dang slow. Check it out. The incident, which was reportedly live streamed by the suspects, took place around 2:50 p.m. on Thursday, February 19th in the Chelsea neighborhood near West 26th Street and 7th Avenue.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, their live streams back then was just newspapers. They just take pictures with them smiling with you on fire all the way. You know what I'm saying? So that was their live stream back in the day. And Mason said white people think or they think they own the whole world whenever they until they meet a real black man, wherever they are until they meet a real black man. Yeah, I agree with that. Because like yo, and that's one of the irritating things to me, like they just think they just be there like thinking they own the space. And I'm like, yo, anyway, I ain't gonna and Nicole said she'll
And
say
they do
something
act
in a
like they
minute.
own it. They do.
Mhm.
They act like they own it. You don't own anything, but you have to understand why. Because we give them that right. Because guess what? When they come up to you and ask you, hey, you live in this apartment building, you got to start explaining. You don't have to say shit to them. Look at them like they're crazy and keep walking. I don't have to explain. I don't even have to acknowledge that you're talking right now. And that's what we do. We give them too much attention. When they start asking crazy questions like, blocking the elevator, but move them out the way. Move them out the way. Whether you got to walk into them, walk over them, step on them, step over them, whatever. You don't owe them an explanation. And this is the problem. We've been explaining too much to them. So this is why they come up to you and ask you, hey, you live in this building? What floor you live on? Show me proof. Show me your lease. I bet you don't have to show you shit. I'm going to show you these hands in a minute. That's all you got to say to them. Or keep walking. You don't have to owe them, you don't owe them no explanation. But that's what we do. And that's why they get to the point now of you having to prove yourself to them when they ask you a question. No. And I'm going to rest with that.
Yeah, and Mason said they like to pick on what they think are soft targets. They feel like since a black man cannot be a man in a white supremacist country, they can attack us all. But and the problem is though, a bunch of black men is just like, oh yeah, go ahead, like and be like, oh well, what did you do to the white person? What like we got to check out, we got to hold ourselves accountable. Or the other side be like, well, what happened the last time that Malcolm X said something, they had a problem with Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? And they did something to
Exactly.
him and we didn't retaliate. That's the problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
And or the other ones, well, we just got to look out for the other groups of people so we can all unify and come together and find a solution to this American problem because we
Oh my
all
God, that
Americans.
makes me so, oh God, that's so disgusting. Oh my
Uh,
God. And then what makes me mad is when they say, oh, we'll take care of it, they'll take care of it in the justice system. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What are they gonna take care of? They hurt you. You don't do anything because you say, we'll, they'll do something in that. When do they ever do anything in the justice system for Black people? When? We seem to forget. We seem like we brain dead sometimes when we use that. Well, we'll go to court and see what happens. Well, they're gonna win. That's what's gonna happen. So you need to, just like you just said, something about they set the lady's boots on fire. Okay, guess what? If she had her candy bar, it wouldn't have been a fire, right? You had your candy bar, your boots would have been on fire, but then he'd have been at the morgue. You understand what I'm saying? It's things we have got to train ourselves to fight back, to hit back, to say something, not to be afraid to move. We're not thinking ahead. We're not seeing the bigger picture. You're waiting for it to go to the court. Well, the courts aren't doing anything. You see now, you feed a dude pee, your pee, then you get to sue his mama for calling you racist. Come on now. And win millions of dollars. They made that boy a millionaire. A millionaire. But he was wrong. He made the boy drink his piss. He went and sued the mama of the boy who's pissed, who drank his piss and won the lawsuit. See what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. You're never going to win in their justice system.
mm-mm.
And I'm a rock. That's it.
No, yeah, facts, facts. Nicole said, like when she in the store and they can't get by, they just sit there and think, I'm just gonna move and I'll wait until I get ready to move. In fact, you know what I'm
Exactly.
about to start? Like, in fact, I'll be like, yo, move, boy. You know what I'm saying? Just move, you know what I'm saying? Or just, as Cassidra was just said, just go follow your own path and don't get knocked off your path by them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and then Matrix said, yeah, we don't owe them ish. And my brother said I sounded like Clarence Thomas. No, I wasn't quite. Clarence Thomas would be like, "Oh Lord, now look what we did. Look what we done did to ourselves. Now, like we got to make sure we get our white girl. We got to, you know, uh, the black family is an important structure, and back in the and this is why the liberals see, like, that's more Clarence Thomas, what I'm saying. That other thing was your average black man, which is like why we're doomed, but we're not doomed. You're right. Keep hope alive. I'll take that back. I'm sorry, Cassidra. You was absolutely right. All right, so let's go to the Black History part. And if anybody can come on here and correct me if I'm wrong here, I invite you to do that. Correct either one of us if we're wrong. But check this out,
I
Cassidra.
love
I'm
to
gonna
tell
give
us
You
it
about
to
correct
black
me,
you.
you better have some backup. You better know your history.
Well, I mean, I don't know everything. One of their talking points that we heard 1,000 times could work this time. Or maybe they found a good white person. Maybe they found the John Brown of today. Maybe they can produce this person. Who knows?
the fiery speaker, the fearless leader. They love to tell us about Malcolm X, the fiery speaker, the fearless leader, the man who shook the world. But what if I tell you the real revolutionary in his family came before him? Meet Louise Little. She wasn't just Malcolm's mother. She was the first teacher, the first activist, and the first fighter in that household. Louise Little wasn't born into struggle. She was born into revolution. She was the daughter of Grenadian parents who believed in Black pride and independence long before it was a movement. She was fluent in English, French, and Creole, a journalist and an organizer in Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association. She raised Malcolm and his siblings to be self sufficient. No begging, no waiting on white America to give them anything. She taught them about Africa, about Black nationalism, about dignity. She and her husband, Earl Little, fought for Black land ownership and economic freedom. And for that, white America made her a target. After Earl was unalived in what was almost certainly a racially motivated
They
unaliving,
lynched him.
Louise tried to hold the family together. She grew food, worked multiple jobs, refused to accept government assistance. But the state didn't like that. They declared her insane and took her children away. They locked her in a mental institution for 25 years. Her real crime? Being a strong Black woman who refused to be broken. And Malcolm? He never forgot. His mother's teachings became the foundation for his own movement. The world saw Malcolm X, but what they didn't see? The fire that was lit by Louise Little. They erased her because they didn't want us to know the truth. That Black women weren't just supporting the movement, we were the movement. She wasn't just Malcolm's mother, she was the revolution before the revolution. And the fact that we're still learning her name, that's proof of how dangerous she really was. Say her name.
Yeah. So what you think about that, Cassidra?
Hey, I love it. That's how Malcolm got here, right? And this is how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to always teach our children, right? But we're not doing that. We're sub so we're what?
Excuse to do what
We're
they were doing. They
subservient.
had already been doing.
But go ahead.
Oh damn! I was on mute. I was saying my bad. That wasn't supposed to be playing. That Jones just came on. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish what you were saying, Cassidra.
No, go ahead.
Um. All right. So we'll go through the Black History part. And I'll play most of it just so we can get through it, and we talked about a lot of the stuff, but of course jump in whenever you want, consider it, and I'll say something during things I feel like I need to say, and then we'll still look at a few things and how it relates today. Doing it for hundreds of years. But they were just using this pseudoscience to try to justify it. But you cannot keep committing these type of sick crimes against people and not be paranoid, wondering when those very people are going to rise up against you. And even when black people tried to fight with the white Americans and side with George Washington, he was strictly against it. He was afraid to arm them, and he refused to let them in the military. So the British used it to their advantage. Now some of this stuff can be like kind of I contemplating like skipping some of it, but I guess it's important. So now the last colonial governor of Virginia before it became what we know today as the United I'll skip States some of of it. America. But the last colonial governor, Governor Dunmore, issued a proclamation offering any slave that helped the British fight freedom and at least 100 acres of land.
The Dunmore Proclamation has two really important parts to it. And we're going to focus on those two important parts first, and then I'll tell you how the Dunmore Proclamation goes a long way to pushing the Second Continental Congress to independence. So here are the two parts right there, those two areas that just highlighted in red.
All right, so basically, so we can skip all of this. So the British said, hey, we'll offer the slaves freedom if they help us fight. You know what I'm saying?
If my slaves are willing to join the British Army, they can get their freedom. So that's, even the way I explained it is kind of complicated.
It's important so you can realize, like, like no matter, like, especially during war times, which they always in, like how they have this campaign and Negroes sign up and go fight in their armies and stuff. And then as soon as the war is over, just like every time, like history only repeats itself over and over and over. And like, see, this is nothing new. Like they tell you one thing and it's a whole nother thing, you know what I'm saying? So
let me say it more clearly. Basically, what Lord Dunmore is saying is any plantation owner who starts to sympathize with the Second Continental Congress, you're going to lose your slaves. Not only will you lose your slaves, but if that slave is willing to join the Royal Army, that slave will be freed and armed, and he will be used to put you down. And that is really sobering to a lot of plantation owners. The last thing, I mean, most of their wealth is in their slaves. I mean, in most instances,
all of their wealth.
A lot
So
of
we're gonna skip
plantation
some of this
owners
stuff
are going to
later on, right? But he didn't make the first proclamation, and his proclamation wasn't original either. And Matron says a good point. She said, remember, they couldn't take their family with them. They only guaranteed them freedom for the enlistee. And that's the thing. They didn't even guarantee them freedom. They said you could possibly get freedom. You know, like, you know how Europeans like the word stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's a possibility you could be free if you help us fight for this, you know, but as we'll see how Europeans
Now,
do.
even though this
But
proclamation
yeah, that's a
didn't
good
apply
point.
to those who they call British allies because he didn't want to offend them, but still, almost 30,000 people joined the war after this proclamation. And it gave the British an upper hand in the war. Thomas Jefferson said at least 30 slaves ran away from him during the war. And it wasn't just enslaved people, it was free Black people who were tired of these oppressive laws.
Now, notice this, Cassidra. Other groups of people will say, hey, we will give you this, and this if you help us fight against them. Right? Now, I'm all for white on white crime and influencing it any way that I can, you know what I'm saying? But I think that the Negroes, us as Black people, our problem is we don't know how to have like the brother said at the beginning, we don't have a goal or a mindset of Black independence, Black ownership, Black we controlling our own society stuff. So we look at it as like real friends, like as a savior almost, you know, as somebody coming to save us. But there is no such thing as a savior, you know. And jump in anytime you want to.
Fighting as
Consider.
well. So when the British start getting the advantage, good old George Washington started getting scared. And he was forced to recant his statements about arming Negroes and allowing them into the army. And within a few months of that proclamation, George Washington was crying, begging for Black people to join his
This is what
militia.
I'm saying. Always
But they
wanted to
had
fight
to
in
at
the
least
wars.
match the British. So they was forced to offer enslaved people freedom in exchange for helping them fight. Now, several places in the North, including places like Rhode Island, was forced to abolish slavery so Black people would help them fight. But even then, the Southern colonies refused to offer freedom. But, you know, some individuals did offer individual slaves freedom if they fought in a war in their place. So by 1776, nearly 100,000 people escaped slavery and joined the war, hoping that the freedom and revolution applied to them too. Now, you could tell a lot about a group
That
of
work
people by
out.
who they choose to represent them. And America chose a white nationalist pedophile, Thomas Jefferson, to
Right, you
draft their
see?
Declaration of Independence. Now, they sitting up there talking about all men are created equal and inalienable
He said he's just not no
rights
average
in a
sex
room full
offender.
of slaves. And it just shows how big of hypocrites that their founding fathers are. But by 1738, enough black people made it to Rhode Island to form the first all-black military unit in America.
But as veterans of the fight for independence begin streaming out of the war, another group is finding their way in. Slaves. They come from Rhode Island, a state desperate to fill its recruitment quotas, and are joining the fight seeking something all Americans are after: freedom. Slaveholding is common across many of the colonies during the Revolution, from the North to the South. And although the colony of Rhode Island was founded on principles of tolerance and equality, it has grown as a major port and market in the international slave trade.
Now, did you hear that, Cassidra? That's where they be like all the good white people were up there in the north, but those were the places
Oh my
where the
God.
slave people was bringing in the slaves. Ain't that something? They was
Hey,
sailors who was bringing in the slaves. That's where the good ones
all in
were.
their wording. All in their wording.
My brother said the Black Brigade and Colonel Ty. Yeah, and I think we're gonna mention him too eventually when we get to a certain point, because this is like a certain process here. You know what I'm saying? And this is the question here too. Especially when we're talking about modern context and the context back then, because we are way more familiar with Neanderthal behavior and patterns and stuff like that. And see, they didn't realize how much hypocrites they are. So they like, oh, well, if they're talking about freedom, it has to apply for all because that's what I would do as a quote unquote human being. But I don't know. We don't learn our lesson. But this is after this war here, I'm not giving no more passes to nobody else. So
Now, Rhode Island's politicians see an untapped resource for filling their ranks.
The Rhode Island Regiment comes from a region that was, for the North, one of the major slave-holding regions. If they'd been in the South, they'd have been called plantations. But these are the largest slave-holding estates in the entire North. In order to fulfill their
don't they tell you slavery is in the South and the North is good and all that stuff? Don't they tell you that?
All the time. But we know the
They,
difference though.
they was lying.
But that's what they do, lie all the time. I don't think I would have believed them. Because we know how they lie. They never stand on their own business, on their word. Never stand their word up on their word, excuse me. So they lie all the time. So why are they believing them?
Well, they said the North was the lesser of two evils. So
Yeah,
no, I'm
okay.
just,
But didn't King say the North was the worst? Didn't he say that? He said it was worse than the South. So how are they the lesser two evils?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, what's worse, like Virginia, Maine, or Texas, which is the most racist place, or Boston, or Florida, or California, or Ohio,
Anyway, you got white folk, all of them.
or
I'm just
Idaho,
saying.
Montana.
Okay. Anyway, you got them people.
Hmm.
they offer to send some of their slaves. Now, in return for fighting for the Continental Army, the slaves are offered freedom.
The slaves are not the only ones tendered an offer.
I don't know. We're gonna get through the whole
The Rhode
thing.
Island government offers compensation to the slave owners for their property. But it is
Reparations.
still up to the individual slave to agree to the enlistment.
Here is your choice. You can remain a slave, or you can support this new nation, and as a result of that support, this new nation and your master will recognize your freedom.
Now, did you hear that, Cassidra? Now you can remain a slave, or you can fight for your master, and your master recognize you, boy. Which
Ain't
one
that
you
something?
going?
Ain't that something? I just think that's something. That's all I can say. And how many people even do that now? They still joining their armies, even though their forefathers went to the service. They didn't share it with their children how racist it was, right? So now you get kids going into the service now, and they're facing this racist issue, right? So why are we continuously telling our children to go and fight in their wars? Trump just said a whole bunch of y'all gonna die, and you think he talking about his son? Hell to no, he's talking about your child. But you're okay with sending your child to fight for a war to get a car or to get education or to get whatever. No, you can get your education with a GI Bill. I mean, with a federal assistance. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to the service to be able to get your education like before. Okay. So when people say, "Well, I went in to get my education," no, you went in to serve a white man's war when they're not even sending their children. You have more black people in the service than you do white now. Why? Because they're sucking up the Kool-Aid, thinking that it's all way better for you to go into the service when you know people that have gone in and come out and they tell you how racist it is in the service, but you still do it. Just like you got people here in Africa, they still joining the Ukraine war. One man just died the other day. Why? Why are you joining their? Why? You're safe in your home because they told you they're gonna give you a couple dollars. Okay, but what happens if you don't make it out? Your family's not gonna get that money. Nobody gets it. So you just giving your money. You've just given your life for nothing. Make it make sense. And I'm gonna rest with that.
Yeah, well, Trump might recognize them as a human, I guess. So
Whatever.
it's worth it.
Now, obviously, this is a very difficult situation because you can't be sure that you're going to get freedom if you fight.
You see that? You can't even be sure you're gonna get freedom if you fight.
Or you can support this new nation, and as a result of that support, this new nation and your master.
By the way, this dude got arrested on his own porch too. Cassidra. Did you know that he one of those? But he got arrested on his own porch too. By the way, I know
I
that's
didn't
the
know that.
same. Yeah, and he's a professor, and he thinks he's like, I've made it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, until you go home at night, and then they like, "What you doing in this neighborhood, boy?"
Will recognize your freedom. Now, obviously, this is a very difficult situation because you can't be sure that you're going to get freedom if you fight. But the one thing you can be sure of, if you don't fight, you're going to remain a slave.
Soon, 1 out of every 4 able-bodied slaves in Rhode Island enlists in what becomes known as the 1st Rhode Island Regiment. And although George Washington once stood in opposition to having black slaves serve in his army, new recruits are a welcome boost to his manpower-starved force.
Ain't that something?
One thing we should always remember, from the beginning of this country to the present, African Americans have had a certain faith in the American dream. And I'm not talking about 2 cars in every garage. I'm talking about the American dream of personal freedom and opportunity.
In other words, y'all, we doomed. That's what he's trying to tell y'all. We doomed.
That's something that
We
America
always gotta save them.
You heard him, considering we doomed. He said we always gonna have faith in this from day one to present day.
rhetoric handed out to the world from the very beginning as the reasons for its existence. I think many African American slaves took that seriously.
Now, like I said, the South wasn't going to offer freedom. But even when a slave owner sent a slave to fight and offer him freedom, that slave owner was still compensated, sort of like reparations. But the reason that black people wanted to fight is because they believe white Americans would keep their word and they reach freedom, or at the very least equality. Now, in Massachusetts, a free black man by the name of Paul Cuffey.
All right, hold on. Before I stop there, right? Yeah, let's see what happens to Negroes here who serve their masters in
Florida gubernatorial candidate continues to receive racist attacks from his own colleagues on the right. I'm chuckling because he says America is not a racist country. Here it is.
Look like a threat to me. Now his own people, well, I guess he thinks he's one of them. Now I don't divide them up by like all that politics and stuff, you know. I understand the truth, but you know, those who serve that side, we know what they get. That's pretty easy to show, like them getting wake up calls and not even recognizing that, you know. Now I don't know if you see this, Cassidra. He got a gun shooting at a thing, and he done tagged the dude Byron Donalds. You know what I'm saying? The dude who said, "Oh, well, racism in America does not exist." You know, I know you know your boy there. Once you think about that,
Sound like we're talking about Tim Scott.
mm,
Remember when
insane
Tim Scott
difference.
said that, and Harris said that. Oh, America's not a racist country, but what do you mean, but? Where's the but coming in at? You know, but we all know, and they know too. They just want to make sure and convince you that it's not. And they've convinced most black people that it's not. Because when you start talking like we talk, we're called racist, but we're holding them accountable. We're exposing their true history, but we're the racist one. Haven't you had people that you've talked to, and they'll say, "Oh, you're being racist," but you're talking about the history of what they did to you, and they accuse you of being racist. I'm like,
Hey,
come on, you guys, make it make sense. Makes no
hey,
sense when you say what you're saying.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
Cassandra, you know how many times I've been called racist or the N? You know, it's crazy because they called me the N word and then end up calling me racist in the last week. You know what I'm saying? But
But
I
forgive
enjoy
me,
it
that's
though.
who
It's
they are.
fun.
They'll never change. They will never change.
They called me the N word, and then by the end they be like, "Hey, you're a racist." Like that's crazy, right? Not really. I know I'm dealing with Neanderthals. I'm not.
Well, you know what I do? I agree with them. Yep, I sure am. Because I hate you.
Mm.
Ain't no sense of lying. Yes, I am. Because I don't trust y'all, and I know what you all about. And I'm never gonna turn my back on them because you already know they never stand on their word. They can never be trusted. They will never change. Our ancestors told us that and showed us that. But what are we doing now? Trying to mix and mingle with Miriam. No, stop. I rest.
And then when I tell you we have no friends, right? Because now we continue to fight on the behalf of everybody who ain't black, you know what I'm saying? Fight for everybody who ain't us and continue over and over to get stabbed in the back over and over. Your now we just seen a brother, or not a real brother, but one who tried to represent a black organization be like, hey, I'm gonna drop this black flag if I can't fight for everybody and stand up for these, like, what you gonna call this, and they're just a mulatto race, you know what I'm saying? So but y'all call them Hispanic, I
Need to
guess,
pat you
or
down for
Latino, or
expired
whatever you
tag?
want to
I
call
thought
it.
expired tag, you could just get a ticket. What's the need to pat down? Don't consent to no searches or none of that. I can speak freely. Okay, you need to back up. I am back. Like I said, you're a passenger, so you don't gotta ID yourself and just don't consent to no searches. Honestly, she's not even supposed to detain you as a passenger. So make sure when it's over, you get her name and badge number and you file a formal complaint. Long as you say your part, that's all that matters. Because you could take her to court, she digging in your pockets. You not under arrest. But he not under arrest. You only supposed to do a frisk, a pat.
This Latina LAPD officer said, if you want to hurt black Americans, hit them in the livers. Hit them in the liver. They got weak livers. Mind you, this is LAPD. And then she goes on with some more racial stereotypes saying that black people drink grape soda and they eat watermelon in between basketball games. The audacity of this Latina with all the fruit stands that's throughout Southern California, especially LA. And these fruit stands are operated by undocumented Hispanics. They got watermelon heavy in those fruit stands. They have an additional 90 recordings they retrieved with more racial comments like this, even calling black people monkeys. For some strange reason, Hispanics are obsessed with calling black people chongaway, chongas, monkeys. And to top it all off, they had an Asian sergeant that tried to cover up for them, Denny Jong. Over 50% of LA law enforcement is Hispanics, and not to mention they have deputy gangs, Hispanic deputy gangs that target Black Americans. There should be a deep dive investigation.
They pulling you.
I don't know what you think about one of your allies there, Cassidra.
Oh, my black and brown coalition. Go black and brown. Yeah, the black and brown coalition. That's why we need Lucius back right there. We need Lucius. I'm just saying, Lucius should have never left. Where's his Lucius seed at? Lucius should have. And see, this is what we don't do. We don't train our children to be like Lucius. We don't train our children and talk about Lucius at all. We just happen to stumble upon Lucius. But this is how we're supposed to be, and we're supposed to pass it down to our children. Well, that black and brown coalition is something else. Ask Jasmine Crockett, who spoke up for them folk, and them folk couldn't even turn out for her. But we'll get enough of that black and brown. We'll get enough of them.
I don't think so. And matron, and this is the problem. Once anyone gets a badge, they become socially white, and that includes Negroes who be trying to prove they blueness. Let's say, like, back to blue. Only for the Negroes think they involved in that. And Matron said, "Let this be a lesson for all the passport bros and sis that think they can escape blackness by going to get a mate from among these heathen nations." So speaking of what you just brought up there, Cassidra, I'm not gonna be the one to, because I know a lot of brothers is gonna be mad or whatever. I'm not the one to pile on in the situation, right? So I'm not gonna, because she's a very beautiful sister, and I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be the one to pile on to that. But as Cassidra just eloquently mentioned, wasn't that like their base? Like I thought we had got replaced or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
just real quick. But this to my Latino brothers and sisters that follow me.
my brothers.
I'm trying to get y'all to educate me on something. I'm being dead ass serious. I ain't even being funny. I'm trying to see kind of what y'all feel. I'm trying to let y'all educate me on it because I don't want to be viewing y'all the wrong way. So I'm trying to figure out, do y'all feel like y'all align more with black folk, or do y'all feel like y'all align more with Caucasian? Like, and the reason I say that is because when I used to hear black and brown people, and I always thought we was like jointed to the hip. Like I always thought we was the black folk, Latino, brown, So I always thought we kind of shared some of the same struggles, same hardships, same.
Oh, by the way, no, you don't, because there is no country in Africa where a bunch of Mexicans is not counted on the census, or where there was a Mexican president that freed an African nation and then they kicked him out and exiled him, or you know what I'm saying? There is no La Raza in an African sense. So no, the struggle is not the same. You know what I'm saying? You taught them how to fight. You didn't stab them in the back during the fight. You know what I'm saying? They stabbed you in the back. So no, we are not joined at the hip.
Just, we were similar. I remember growing up, all my Latino buddies, they was on what I was on. But now that I look at it,
I said the N-word with me all day.
It ain't as clear to me no more. And I'm trying to ask y'all, do y'all feel, Latino brothers and sisters, do y'all feel y'all are more in line with black folk?
And my question is, what if they say white folk? What you gonna do about it? What is your gonna be response? What is your response gonna be after that if they was to say, oh, we feel closer to our Spaniard side? You know what I'm saying? What do you think your response will be?
Do they even really have to answer that? They just look and take a hint. Why they gotta say it? That's my question. Say it. Because I never hear them say the Black and Brown Coalition. I never hear them say that. That's it. We always include them anytime we open our mouth. But you know, the Black and Brown, I don't give a damn about the Black and. We have to go by what they show you. They don't have to say anything.
Facts.
Or do y'all feel like y'all are now more aligned with Caucasians? You know, and I don't know if y'all feel like y'all more aligned with Caucasians or if y'all inspired to be more like them than y'all do black folk. I don't know. I'm fine with it either way. I'm just trying to get clarity on it because it's not as clear to me now.
You were sure, but now you're not clear.
Like I used to think we was in the same fight. But now when I see things, you know, I remember the last election talking to Latino folk. They, he gonna give us money. He gonna, you know. And I was like,
Vote for Donald Trump.
That's the motherfucker want to get y'all out of here. And the only reason I'm asking, because I need to know who I'm defending. Like I don't want to be defending no motherfucker.
Wait, why are you defending them in the first place, though? All right, then we just learn from
Exactly. They ain't
history
gonna
that
defend you. When the last time they defended us for anything, what stood up for us?
one
When the
thing
last time they said anything about black folks? No.
Oh, it's gonna be some offensive linemen blocking everybody's. That's why everybody be mad when you don't do nothing for them.
Who don't even fuck with me for real. So I'm asking so I know who I should and shouldn't be defending. So if y'all can,
Cassidra, quick question: who should you be defending and who shouldn't you be defending? You heard me?
Not defending no brown people. I know that much. That's a piece right there. You can forget it. I see him on the side of the road, laying down, needs some water. I wouldn't even piss on him. I'm gonna keep driving.
What about a baby one?
Especially not the baby one. What did Khalid Muhammad say? You already know what my stance is. Why the babies? Why not? Because
What
they're gonna
about
go up to be your image.
what about the disabled ones?
Not my problem. Sorry. Not my problem. You on your own. Do for you, and we gonna do for us. I'm sorry. I mean, seriously, I'm minding my business when it comes to anybody that don't look black. I'm minding my business. And if that's it, you got a need, you hungry, you knock at my door, don't knock at my door because I'm not opening it. Seriously, because guess what? They will do you the same way. You see black folks saving white folk. And I look at that and I'm in the comments and I'm seeing, oh, he was so gracious. He was so this, that, and the other. And I say, my comment is, would they do the same for you? That's all I say. Would they do the same for you? And if so, tell me when. Because you've been being shot down in the streets all the time. When have they stood up for black people and said anything? Like that one woman saw the white dude, he was older, and he was out in the snow. And she brought him in his house, and he, I guess, had dementia, and she called his family. What the hell with that? Why left him out there? What I'm saving him for? Would he have done that to you? If that was your mom and it was his son or his daughter, would they have done that for you? That's how you have to look at this stuff. No, they wouldn't. They'd have left your ass out there in the cold, and you'd have probably died. But we always trying to save other people except ourselves. Save yourself, black folk. Please, save yourself. And I'll rest with that.
Oh man. I thought we ran out of places in the bag to get stabbed, but apparently we found
We got
another
the
one.
video, and of course, not just this video, but
Not to play him because it's probably his wife.
that it's valid for Mexicans to
My
say.
bad. I shouldn't have said that.
I think, like, it's valid.
Why do you think that is valid for Mexicans? Mexicans, whenever they say the word no key,
I think.
All right, so he asked him.
Mexicans saying the N word. I want you to hear what this guy has to say. How you feel about Mexicans whenever they say the word no key?
I think, like, it's valid.
Why do you think that is valid for Mexicans to say?
I don't know. We're the same, like, we're family, bro.
You think that we're the same as black folks?
Nah, I think we're better.
Whoa, shoot. Why you say we're better?
Because we are, bro.
Wait, why though? You gotta like elaborate a little bit. Just a little bit.
Because, bro, we're Mexicans, bro. Okay. We're the bro. Are we not?
First of all,
I don't know what you think about that, because I'm pretty sure I don't know what his wife think about it. But
Well,
what you
you
think
know,
about it?
I'm not just saying like this. Hey, if that's what they think, but we already know who the chosen is. You know, it's gonna be some wannabes all around the world. We got some faking and shaking right now that it went over there and did what they did in Iran. Now they're running, scared. Let's come back to the table and talk. No, Iran say I'm coming. We got some fake folk all the time. So I'm just saying, we gotta understand who we're dealing with. Everybody gonna think they're better, but we already know that we are. We are the trendsetters. We know that. If black folk ain't in it, it don't amount to nothing. So we have to know who we are and whose we are, and we have to understand the strength that we hold together. But I rest with that.
Yeah.
He's entitled to believe what he believes.
Yeah. And look, and like, cause Nicole brought it up and you brought it up, and I would say more about the sister Jasmine Crockett, but you know what, Cassidra, I'm being merciful on my brothers and sisters who believe in the lesser of two evils today, because I'm not as hard on. See, the thing is, like, I don't take it the wrong way, but I am not as hard on the clones, and they might not feel like they're a clone for having this, but you are though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if well, we're demonstrating it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn the hard way that it's clone behavior. You know what I'm saying? And so I ain't really focused on that as much. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who need to hear it from
Coalition that we're really
someone who don't
together.
look like us.
And where I grew up,
And
Ricardo,
yeah, he would say
I
some
always felt that brotherhood.
he would say some derogatory stuff about a black woman in a second.
For them to learn about all this, that's why it blew my mind.
Now I thought about I shouldn't play this dude because it's black people's dream just to hear them say something. But this is important because like people don't realize this is the like to me the most dangerous thing because of our response to it, right? They're all the same to me, but our response to it and this savior complex that we seem to have and this need to prove that there's good ones out there, you know what I'm saying? When you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't do it, right? Because you can only name 3 people and that's all been debunked. They all been debunked. So come up with a new one, and I can give you 2 more, but I'm not gonna do that because then they'll make it easier on you. You know what I'm saying? But um, yeah, because then I'll show you how they're not good either. But this is why I hesitated to play this dude because this is what black people want to hear. But this is the most dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that that somebody is your friend. All somebody got to do is smile in our face. That's it. And we don't even understand the contradiction in all of it, you know what I'm saying? And how much like coon behavior this is.
I'm gonna say this to you. We're gonna end this live, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I feel sad when I see black people expressing a desire to have coalition with brown people. I feel sad because I know that that's not a real thing. And I'll say this so that people won't get offended. It's not a.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut it off because I'm gonna let it play, but they say stuff like this because they know it's what you want to hear. Like, I don't understand how we don't see through it. Like, they just listen to what you say and parrot what you say, but because they're not a black man or a black woman saying it to you, then you listen to what they got to say. If a white boy come on here and say, hey, we can go conquer the women of Africa, then you be like, hey, this is a problem because the white boy said it. But man, Cassidra could be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Well, you should probably get your canned goods and do all of these things for like 10 years now. And you'd be like, oh, you're racist. You're a racist. And then somebody else say it, and then you'd be like, hey, this is the truth. I agree with this. This is bananas, you know.
Real thing, and it can't be a real thing until we as a collective of people, as Latinos, etc., until we confront our anti-blackness as a collective. We cannot come together
Just not.
we are anti. We can't. How? How? And I've said this before. How do we come together with black people and protest together as we have for a long time But then
When?
we go home and tell our daughters don't date
You
them.
see how they sneak that nonsense in? Oh, like we have. When? You mean, oh, when black people came? Tell me one time that it wasn't black people coming, hey, that ain't right. You can't do that to that Mexican now. You know, I let you do it to my kids, but you can't do it to the damn Mexican now. Now we got to do something. Even to this very day, brothers that come on here and sit up there and tell me, like, oh, well, you're tripping because we got to wait until next. We can't be selfish because they gonna ruin a whole America. Well, good. I thought that was the point of us being on here, right? Because there was always two solutions, right? Now there's only one true solution, and we're gonna leave that out of it, you know. But the other solution that I tried to tell y'all was that we could just do our own thing and build our own coalitions and our own societies and our own institutions. We could have just built all of that stuff on our own. We didn't have to take it to there until they came to us, which they gonna do. Which that's the other part you're gonna have to realize about going that path. But we could have built our own stuff by now. We could have had the stuff that we were supposed to be doing, right? We could have had all of that stuff by now, but we don't. That was the other option. And now we stuck with the other option that y'all don't want to face. That's why it's only one option. But it was always two options. But we don't want that. We want to have coalitions and friendships, you know.
Black folks. I don't want to see you bring in a black guy. But it's okay if you bring home a white guy, though. You see what I mean? There is anti-blackness in our collective post-colonial culture. It's there, and it's been there since the Spaniards colonized. I keep saying this all the time. Due to the caste system that they implemented in our culture, it's become our culture. It's not our original culture. They're not our original views. They are our post-colonial culture. It is the effects and the outcome of being colonized by anti-black people. Somebody said it's called blanqueamiento. Exactly, blanqueamiento. We even have a phrase in Spanish. The phrase goes, mejorando la raza. I also mention that all the time. Mejorando la raza means improve the race. Improving the race is to whiten it. So how can we have these views collectively as a people, but yet build coalition with black people? How? How is it people that have anti-blackness in their culture come together with black people? You as a black person, you tell me how.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah.
Scissor, and
How
I
about
should have
this?
kept.
We don't. How about this? We don't. How about that?
Oh man,
That's the only answer I can come up with. We don't. Y'all stay over there. We're gonna stay over here. You do you, we're gonna do us, and we're gonna keep moving. And we're gonna build. We've had time and time and time enough to build. But we don't want to. We don't want to be alone. Black folk don't want to be alone. We need everybody else who don't want to be around you. Why would you want to be around people that don't like you? How could you trust somebody like that? We know how white folk treat us. We know how everybody treat us, even black folk. But we sit up there and we'll trust them before we will our own. Because that's what they've done. That's how they taught you. That's how they've trained us. So why I can answer that question. You stay over there, bro, and we're gonna stay over here. We're gonna build. Do we need to do over here? We've done that. We've been there and done that. That don't work for us. Now it's time for us to be around us and do for us. Period. I rest with that.
well, no, and you know how sick this is, Cassidra. He's telling him in his face that, oh, well, you don't want no coalitions and all these good, well, they don't exist in our culture. He's telling them in his face, like, how could you accept that and work with them while he's on the thing, listening, soaking up every single word? And the Negro don't even, he can't even answer the question, but he's sitting here trying to do a coalition, talking about, oh, you're right, you're right. You know what I'm saying? This is how sick that we are. He's sitting here doing a black and brown coalition while the brown dude telling them, why are you doing black and brown coalitions? And he's sitting there nodding along like, you're right, you're right. But let me tell you
But
this.
exactly,
This
exactly,
this is how
exactly.
crazy it is, you know what I'm saying? He's telling you to your face. Like you'll be stupid if you like accept these coalitions and these ones who be with this fake love while he's doing it to him and he's in the process of doing it. He's telling them to his face while he's doing it. And then
Yep.
and as Negroes, we just sit there as a collective, since they want to talk about that. That's how we look like this brother does right here. You know what I'm saying? Nodding our head along with it. You're right. You're right. You're cooking, brother. That is crazy to me. It's-
It would be damn
you
near
see how sick
impossible.
this is?
It would be damn near.
No, it's not near impossible. It's impossible. You know what it is? No, listen, sir. I mean this because I care. Okay, because
Hear about
I don't
who?
want people to get hurt with fake coalition. People get hurt like this. People get used. Okay? When elections are coming,
And they're telling him to his face while he's doing it.
community have problems. We, meaning Latinos, we call out for black folks. Meaning we want to use you for your votes. Hey, let's come together. We want to use you. That's what we want to do. We want to
Or
use
even views on
black
TikTok like he's
population,
doing.
get our backs, etc. What happened when Trump won? Now, mind you, a large percentage of Latinos voted him in there, but when it backfired, what are we saying now? Where are all the black people at? Okay,
Yep, exactly. Nope. Ain't no black folks. Nope.
why is it black people? Why not where all the white people at? Where all the Asians at? Where all the Arabs at? Why black people? You tell me why. Why y'all?
They know
Negroes on here nodding.
We're the ones that have always fought against white supremacy, and so they're calling for us because they know that for one thing, they
No, not just because we fought against them, because we looked for saviors while trying to do it, thinking that a good white one is going to help us, or a Mexican, or Arab, or Asian, or anybody but ourselves is going to do it.
Still, yep, looking for approval still. Even though they just told you in your face. But go ahead.
you know we have sympathy towards them, and they know they can manipulate us with that 100%.
Yep, and
while being manipulated.
I truly, sincerely hate this for y'all. And
I hate it too.
Right.
And therefore, it's my duty, man, as somebody who has a problem with this, to say, hey, you've never seen me talk about brown and black coalition. That's never coming out of my mouth.
I wish I could have been on that interview
So I
right
see
there. I'd
my
have told
people.
him.
That's the reason why I make the videos that I
So
make.
why are you on here right now then? Why aren't you sitting there making live, speaking in Spanish, talking to your people, telling them, hey, look, like this like Negro race is the superior race here, you know what I'm saying? But no, you're on black people. So repeating the stuff that black people have been saying and that Cassidra have been called racist for, that I have been called racist for, that dude would probably call us racist and not try to come on here. Because he's tell you the same thing that I told you. I tried to show you through history, right? How every time you fight for somebody, what happens to you? Like, why don't we try fighting for ourselves
And
for a
they
damn
still
change?
trying to go in there and fight for Trump now, because he told you, y'all kids gonna die. But what they signing up now? You think they not? We got you, Trump. I wish I would.
And
I
y'all
wish
mentioned,
I would.
the good sister Jasmine, and who fought for them, and
The good, exactly, and fought hard for and
that's
cried up there on stage
that,
for him.
and
But
will
ain't mentioned black
probably,
folk one time. Went in the club and was, with the Mexicans. Okay? Did they support you, sis? That's what I want to ask them. Jasmine, what happened? Did they support you, girl? Did they come out? That black and brown coalition come out for you? Did that brown coalition? That's the one want to really ask her about. The brown folk come out for you. All that money y'all gave them, did they come out for you? Did they support you? No? Okay. I'm just wondering.
because they've been telling us vote or die since 2004, and then brothers came on here and said, look, we got to put our issues to the side for the greater good. Now the
That's
greater
something.
good that they
They
was
got you
fighting
trained
for,
well.
oh man. So I don't know Cassidra.
Do until I see my people collectively confront and stand up against anti-blackness. If we cannot first do that, then I don't want to see no coalition. It's impossible. It's fake, it's performative, and it's also a way to only call you out when we need you.
Do you see this, Cassidra? He said I don't want to see nobody no fake. It's all fake, it's performative. He's telling you what he's doing. He's telling you what he's doing. How he getting all this money off TikTok views by parroting what black people have been saying for a long time. And all we need to do is hear somebody give us this vote of humanity. I am not an ape. And then a white person say, a white girl be like, yeah, they're not apes. Oh, she invited to the cookout. That's why the cookouts got canceled a
Exactly.
long time
Oh
ago.
my
So,
God. Oh my God. It's disgusting. We invite anybody to the cookout. Anybody.
And now we got to eat tacos at the cookout. So now we screwed.
Yeah.
That's not unity. That's not coalition. That's called exploiting a people.
Ah.
Can y'all come? Hey, we need you right now. Don't date our daughters. Don't move into our communities. Stay over there in your lane. But can we use you right now? That's Latinos' idea of coalition. Okay, that's what coalition has looked like. Can we use you when we need you? That's what it is. When it comes to Latinos, is can we use you? Because since colonized, we've been practicing mejorando la raza. We have been practicing blanqueamiento, and we have also not allowed our daughters, our family members to date, to have children with black people, etc. Collectively. Yes, there's the individuals here and there that stand up against it, but individuality doesn't work.
Not.
We have to be a collective of people that stunt.
No, it is not. Anyway.
I'm going to say it again. Black and brown unity doesn't exist. You show me where true black and brown unity exists. And I'm not talking about y'all that are dating and messing around because that's sexual. I'm talking about real black and brown unity. I hear black people, before the ICE raids, black people were always, including Mexicans, black and brown unity, black and brown issues, black and brown, but they
Cassidra with doom.
Never talked about you when it came to unity. They didn't even think about you. So, I mean, when the ICE raids happen, I see more, black and brown together. That this is not the time. This wasn't the time to be unified. It was like years ago, you know what I mean? But the few that marched, the few that, did something, because you have friends that you grew up with or you work with and became friends. I don't know. That doesn't count. I'm saying the majority, you can't tell me there's.
All right, look, you know what? Do you think that proved this point, Cassidra? Now I would mention
He proved a good point. He told truth. That's who we need to hear it from. Black folk ain't gonna listen to black folk. We need to hear it from coming out the cow's mouth. Seriously. He told you just how they feel. Now you can take it or leave it. But from this day forward, we should not be shouting black and brown anything. And I rest with it.
Well, no, yeah, and I don't know what to say, Cassidra, because this is terrible. Now I did mention, the beautiful, the very beautiful sister Jasmine Crockett. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother MG2 says, very beautiful sister. You know what I'm saying? And so we just gonna say that for right now, but. I could have used that as an example, but I'm not gonna kick dirt on y'all right now. Maybe I should because the wounds have been enough. And I'm not gonna lie now here, Cassidra. We can end it, but there is something other important stuff, right? So if you want to end it, we can, and we can do it another time. But it is more important stuff that I want to finish, But I know it's getting super late. So what you think?
Hey, you do you. I'm starting my day.
Okay. All right. And Matrix said we need to acknowledge that we have no friends, and when it comes to our issue, no one is on our side. We join other people causes, but they do not join ours. And then they gaslight us and tell us, "Oh, we fought with you the whole." Like he tried to sneak that in, like even though we have. Well, when did that happen? You know what I'm saying? When did the
That's what I
Mexicans
want to
ever?
know.
You
When?
see how
I
they
don't understand
snuck that
when.
in?
Is he talking about George Floyd? That what talking about? When? When? Before then? Okay, because we have leaders, his leaders, a whole lot of them talking about, look, let black folk do black folk. We not black. We not standing up for black people. They've had leaders to say that in the past. So we gonna hold that to be true for us. Let them stand and hold their own kahunas, okay? Kahunas or whatever you say. We're not doing it. We're not coming together black and brown, nothing. It's black and black, period. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. Because I'm not here standing up for them. I don't care what happens to anybody if they're not black. And even the ones that's black that don't know how to act, like Candace Owens, who running her mouth right now about a white boy that died, who they killed, his own family killed him. What the hell you care? Back off that. So if you're going over there doing some cool stuff, I'm not standing up for you either, because you knew better. But I'm gonna rest with that.
Yeah, facts, facts. All right, and this other part is important because I think it's an important topic, you know. So I'll keep going. All right,
Use their
and you
revolution
tell
to
me
stand
whenever
up for
time
black
is up,
people and black rights.
because there's
They petitioned the
a few minutes
Massachusetts
left in this.
government to either give them equal rights under the law or to stop taxing them. And
Sorry, I'm
the
running
reason
back.
that black people now in Massachusetts, a free black man by the name of Paul Cuffey, used their revolution to stand up for black people and black rights. He petitioned the Massachusetts government to either give them equal rights under the law or to stop taxing them. And Paul Cuffey used their argument of no taxation without representation against them.
Yo, Paul Cuffey was a G whose net worth was over $1 million in the early 1800s, adjusting for inflation, and he used his wealth and influence to build a school for us, to advocate for voting rights, and to begin one of the first Back to Africa programs over 100 years before Marcus Garvey. How did he do it? Well, let me explain. Paul Cuffey was born 17 years before the Declaration of Independence in 1759 in colonial America as a free black man because his father had been previously freed during his lifetime. After his father's death, he would inherit a farm, and he also began working along the sea during the American Revolution. Afterwards, he kept at it and built a lucrative business. In 1780, he refused to pay taxes because he wasn't allowed to vote. By 1783, Massachusetts allowed all men the right to vote. As the wealthiest black man in America at the time, he then used his wealth to open an integrated school. By 1811, he felt spiritually obligated to use his wealth to help free blacks settle in Africa.
Now, as for Paul Cuffey, by 1811, he was considered the wealthiest black American and the largest employer of black workers. And his brother helped a lot of people get to Sierra Leone after that was established. But, you know, we're going to touch on that in further lessons. But during the Revolutionary War, Paul Cuffey and his brother John got arrested because they refused to pay taxes until they could vote. And Paul Cuffey challenged their system throughout his life. Now, by this time, a lot of black people, especially free black communities, were creating their own institutions. And we're not going to go too far in this lesson, so I want to wrap it up soon. But I do want to highlight that even during the 1700s, black people were creating their own institutions. And last time we touched a little bit about black churches and how they were established and how we used them to organize. But it wasn't just churches. Black people in the 1700s were creating their own mutual aid societies to offer cultural and spiritual centers and offer financial aid to members. Now in 1780, the first Free African Society was founded in Newport, Rhode Island.
But it's important to recognize that as Newport was established at that time, and as slaves were entering into this community, how they lived together, how they worked together, how they worshiped together, and eventually how they died is much different than what we commonly know and understand of the history of slavery in the early history of America. But it's important to recognize that there were three very unique conditions at that time that would change the course of those Africans and enable them to advance themselves into freedom and prosperity earlier than other Africans that were enslaved, unfortunately, in the American South or the West Indies or South America. We also find that many of the Africans that arrived here were an English colony.
North of America.
We're not Spanish or Portuguese or Dutch or French, we're an English colony. So we're trading with other English settlements and colonies. In the 17th into the 18th century, the English slave forts along the West African coast were along what is today Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, and Guinea. So nearly all the enslaved Africans that would arrive here arrived from those locations, and many times via English colonies in the West Indies. So that triangular trade, as it's popularly called, was at the very center of the Newport economy. In fact, Africans were involved in almost every aspect of the very building and operating of the Newport economy. By about 1774, right at the eve of the American Revolution, Africans represent about a third of the entire population. We have about 12,000 citizens here. New York is about 15, Philadelphia at 20, to give you a perspective. But they're not beasts of the fields. They're not large labor force. They are carpenters, stonemasons, snuff making, chocolate grinding, glass blowing, painting, ship riggers, cord winding, women working in seamstress and large sail lofts. So these Africans, because of the requirements of skilled trades, had access to education and training that would have been unheard of in the American South or the West Indies. Not because slave masters and mistresses were any kinder or gentler here. They were pragmatic and they were responding to the economy that existed in colonial New England generally, and particularly in Newport. So today, many of the most historic buildings that we have in this community, our earliest state capitol buildings, were all constructed not by slave labor, but by skilled and trained, enslaved, and some free Africans. In fact, what I have to remind people, if it wasn't for the skills and the training of those Africans, these architectural masterpieces that we completely wow today would not exist. It's also important to recognize that when these Africans arrived, they were young. In fact, most of the Africans that arrived here via the West Indies were under the age of 13. In some cases, African children, 7, 8, 9 years old, would arrive in Newport.
You hear that? Consider 7. Like, we just heard what they like think about their own children at young ages. Like, what do you think they
Oh
was
my
doing to
God, can you
7-year-olds?
Can you imagine Epstein back in the day? His granddaddies, great great granddaddies, great 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 granddaddies. I'm just saying. He didn't just come
Disgusting.
alive just today. He had some forefathers that was in slavery days, okay, that taught him how to do what he's doing. Okay? Can you imagine how babies was treated? Can you imagine how many babies they ate then?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I
That was a
cannot.
gourmet meal, wasn't it?
That's the sick part. I cannot imagine how many.
I
Is that
huh,
many? I can't
huh,
even imagine it. It's crazy.
huh. And they had nobody to defend them. None, nobody. So this
Yeah.
stuff that you're looking at now has been way back for us since we've been here. It ain't just, this is just not nothing new. You're just bringing it out because it's white children. But this has been happening to our babies since the beginning. That's why they had to make a law that if a white woman killed one of them, and they said through disciplining them, and a lot of times it wasn't even disciplining them. They just didn't like them because the daddy was in the bed with the black woman. And they came up with the babies, right? So it wasn't so much as them murdering them because they was disciplining them. They was murdering them babies because they just didn't like what was, what the husband was doing.
Mm-hmm. Or because it
So
was
we've been
fun.
fighting them off for a long time. And now
Facts.
black women get up for free.
That's it. It's disgusting.
Now, I can't even begin to think of a 6 to 8 month passage from West Africa to the West Indies and eventually to Newport, what that would be for any human being. We know as scholars that about 12.5 million Africans.
To my brother point before Anthony, he was like, yeah, Phyllis Wheatley was 7 years old. So we see routinely they took little boys and little girls,
Made it through the passage. But here in Newport, we don't need strong men and strong women to work on large plantations. We need children who are going to spend the next 4 years of their life training in apprenticeship so that they can become that next craft person. And what these Africans would do is they would take advantage of this
It's just the
opportunity of
lesser of
access
two
to
evils.
education and training, cohabitation, and they would begin to build and reclaim their own identity as Africans in America, not African American like me. They didn't look like me, they didn't speak like me.
That's right, because if you're African American, you're an African that's been Americanized. You know what I'm saying? Sheriff David Clark is an African American. Candace Owens is an African American, like for that matter. We are black people in America.
Thank goodness. They were African. And in 1780, for the first time in the history of African enslavement in the Western Hemisphere, a group of African men came together in Newport. Today it's called Memorial Boulevard, at the time Levin Street, the home of Abraham Casey, who was a master chocolate grinder.
Okay, we're
And
gonna
they
skip ahead, y'all. Sorry, so we can end it.
established one of the earliest free African schools in America here in Newport, Free African Methodist Episcopal and Free African Episcopal churches. Do we return to Africa? And it's a fascinating discussion between the Africans.
See, you see how there's been a discussion this whole time. Now, I think this time is not by us, but
African unions with free
it's not
Africans
new.
all over colonial America. And they would reach out and correspond with free Africans in Philadelphia, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and Boston. And again, those letters and those correspondence still exist. And they're talking about, now that we're free, do we remain? Do we return to Africa? And it's a fascinating discussion between the Africans. In Boston, they're led by Prince Hall, who wants to establish and goes on to establish the Prince Hall Masonic Order. In Philadelphia, the Africans feel it's religion, and they establish the first Free African Methodist Episcopal and Free African Episcopal churches. Here in Newport, they're less interested in Masonic and they're less interested in churches because they have access to those things. They're really focused on building an African identity. And several years later, they established one of the earliest free African schools in America here in Newport on School Street. And it's a free African school, meaning no white oversight, no white funding, no white rules and regulations. The African men and women operate their school, teach their school,
in the
educate.
1700s.
And then the last most important point that these Africans would involve themselves in this African Union Society is that they would establish a burying ground. They were quite concerned with the fact that being in this port community, lots of ships coming in and out, lots of diseases, unfortunately, coming with ships. So death, unfortunately, was a very, very active, a very close part of living. So these Africans raised money to ensure that every African who would die in Newport would have a place to be buried.
Now, of course, I told y'all how pilgrims in the North dealt with enslaving children first. First to legalize slavery, they dealt with enslaving children and selling children off, even though they're supposed to be so righteous. But a lot of the children growing up in these areas were also creating a lot of these societies and trying to fight and find ways to maintain and regain their identities. And Black societies and institutions work with each other in different locations. They put their money together. They did all of the things that they needed to do to create the things that they needed to have. And they accomplished that in the 1700s. Now, like I said, a lot of Black people saw how white Americans was handling their American Revolution, and they was inspired to fight for their own freedom. And
now we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but I'm gonna let this last part play so we can end it.
Every kind of way. After seeing the Declaration of Independence, a Black woman named Mum Bet sued for her freedom and won. Now, she was the first Black person in Massachusetts to successfully file and win a freedom suit. And after she won and became a free woman, she ended up changing her name to Elizabeth Freedmen. And even though this sister couldn't read or write, her story encouraged other people to do the same and file and get their freedom.
In the newly formed United States of America, slavery is still legal and a way of life, especially in the South, where many Black soldiers are denied their freedom, just like James Armistead. But in the North, the seeds of abolition are already sprouting, thanks to the courage of an enslaved woman named Mum Bet, who fights her war of independence in a Massachusetts courtroom.
She takes this idea of natural equality that's embedded in the state constitution of Massachusetts and says that this applies to me. And if all men are actually born free and equal, then I cannot be enslaved. And the court in Massachusetts agrees.
In victory, Mum Bet changes her name to something new and entirely fitting, Elizabeth Freeman.
She's not the only person that does this. There are men whose surnames are Freeman and Liberty and Self. And how powerful is that to think about these people of African descent who are literally trying to claim this status with their names?
Her court case, her ability to win her freedom would prompt all kinds of legislation for the future. It became the legal bedrock of abolition.
In my
We'll
eyes,
see how that works out
the
later.
entire African American experience during the Revolutionary War to be summed up in one quote, it's something Elizabeth Freeman once said.
Anytime while I was a slave,
If 1 minute of freedom had been offered to me,
and I had been told I must die at the end of that minute,
I would have taken it just to stand 1 minute on God's earth, a free woman.
I would.
Damn, you
I
hear
would.
that?
I would.
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I'm kind of speechless. She really meant it.
I don't think that they mean it though. She might have meant it, but I don't think that they mean it because they don't even know that they're slaves right now. And the fact that you will do anything like Cassidra mean it because Cassidra is taking free breaths as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Something I have yet to experience in life. You know, that's is dope. You know what I'm saying? I'll play the rest of this.
Really meant it. I think it just says something about the depth of loss and the feeling that there is something out there that's so precious that even to grasp it for a moment is better than to be deprived of it interminably.
Elizabeth Freeman's own words remind us what was at the center of the American Revolution and of life for Black men and women living in the 18th century, that freedom was always on everyone's mind.
Now, Cassidra to all right. I will get to more context on that in a minute, you know what I'm saying? But now we was talking about before that, fighting in their Revolutionary War. And then of course we see the things that we get. They took out the Tuskegee
Yes and
Airmen out
no.
the
I'm up with
thing.
the
You can
truth.
blame whoever you want. You said something, Cassidra?
No, I'm just listening at you. How, like you said, how they taking out the heroes, our Black heroes. They took them all. Didn't Trump just do that? Take them out, closing. Changing some of the Black history. Took out the Black history books and stuff. But this is what happens when you work with them. Everybody want to do with white folk. Everybody want to be partnered up with them. But then yet they don't know how to respect you. So what are you fighting for? You can't even get them to respect you. Back in the day, you came home in your uniform, they hung you. So what are you fighting for? Why are you sending your children to fight in their wars? I just don't understand that. What are we getting out the deal? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and
So
I'm
go
not gonna
ahead.
lie, Cassandra. Trump did me a favor by like taking out Black history because they was teaching like, oh yeah, uh, yeah. What about what's
You
his
were
name?
serving.
What about
Serving.
Schwerner and
I know.
Goodman and the Civil Rights Movement? That's what they was teaching Black kids. It's Schwerner and Goodman. They ain't tell them none of the Black people, Medgar Evers. They don't teach us that.
Oh
They teach
God.
them
They would never
Schwerner
teach
and
that.
Goodman.
Yeah, they would never teach that. Oh God, no.
Or how you was immigrants and all that stuff before that. My school ain't teach me about none of the stuff that I know now. Like I'm saying, so I don't understand what is actually being taken out anyway. So
That's why your
oh yeah,
book is so important.
they taking out the stories of the Black men and women who served this country and served and fought for their masters well and may or may not be recognized as humans. And the answer was no, they was never recognized as humans. But
Ain't that something?
that's the
But you
stories that
gave your
they're
life
taking
for.
out.
But you gave your life for this country. You literally
Hmm.
gave your life for a country that hates you to fight for another country's freedom when you weren't free. Hear yourself. That makes a lot of sense to me, huh? You going to fight for another country's freedom when you can't even sit on the front of the damn bus. When back in the day you had to enter a building through the back door, but you got on a United States Army uniform, but you can't go through the damn front door. What is that? What? What are we doing here? Why are we being so disrespectful to ourselves? No
That's a good
humanity,
question.
no self, nothing. No self, respect or nothing. Any
It's
way you
like
want to treat us, we'll take it. Uh-huh.
it,
Go ahead.
and no, I was about to say it's like a horrible. It's like yeah, we gotta fight. Be like, oh, this brother died so 12 white men can live and sell homes. So that brother died. recognize this, and we fighting to recognize us serving somebody else. Like that's the only history that they tell you, the subservient history, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're taking this out of school. Like, why did we send a little 6-year-old girl to a school to get spit on by a bunch of
You
grown women or
grown
grown
ass women with
not
female
women,
menstrual babies.
Neanderthals, not women. I'm sorry.
My God, that blows my mind. They couldn't have never came to me and said, Cassie, we want one of your daughters to go. Who daughters? Hell to the no. You're not gonna traumatize my baby. And the mom that did that, I would love to know what she was thinking. What was she thinking? What do you think she was thinking? Who does that? You're gonna make history. I don't give a damn about history. Let somebody else child make history. Mine not being the first of nothing. Because when you're the first of anything, you gotta go through a whole lot of hell. Ain't nobody doing that. Life too short. I'm not gonna be traumatized to be the first of nothing. Because what did you get out of that besides being traumatized? And then now our children can go to school with them and look how they treat them. They're traumatizing. It's still today. They go to white schools, they get traumatized. Could black kids tell you? We went there and got traumatized every day. PTSD coming out of their schools. Now they come over there and go to our schools, cool, no problem. But go to their schools, you're drinking a piss and you're doing all kind of crazy stuff. They're cutting off your locks, all kind of stuff to you. Telling you can't be a president, telling you can't do nothing but be a janitor. Come on, but that's on purpose. And we still don't get it. We still won't take them our babies out of their schools. Still won't create our own. That's the saddest thing. When we don't even know we slaves. We think, oh, we free. Because you're getting paid. They did that in slavery. Remember, they was paying the master. You'd work, they paid the master. Ain't that what the last book Rachel was talking about? I forget the name of it. But how they was working and they was giving master the money. Same thing today. We're still not free, y'all. But I'm gonna rest with that.
And I ain't gonna play this, but look at this. Well, I guess I'll play a second, but this little white boy got a U.S. Army contract and got a weapons
As a
company.
country, if we want to maintain relevance.
While
Ain't
China
that something?
on quite the show of military might, when it comes to scale, Thornton imagines a very different alternative than the high-tech, sophisticated U.S. arsenal that we're all used to.
One of your missions seems to be trying to imagine what warfare is going to look like, not in 10 years, but in 20 years. You're 21, so that's literally a lifetime for you. And
See that, Cassidra? They plotting.
How do you see the future of warfare in 20 years?
To me, what's most concerning is you can.
Why we ain't had not one conversation of how we see the warfare of how warfare is gonna play out in 10 years with nobody,
Come on.
Cassidra?
Come
Why
on
we ain't
now.
had a conversation yet? How is the hell is warfare gonna play out on our behalf? Now this little white boy is 21. 21. I did not think of that. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I had my coon chip, like it wasn't fully activated. I guess they didn't install it all the way, and then I finally broke it. But I wasn't talking about weapons companies at 21. Or how our children ain't having these conversations, especially when they like 2 years old talking about how fun science is, and when they 18 years old talking about how to use that science to either grow us our food or provide us our weapon to defend our food. You know what I'm saying? In our houses and stuff.
Look at ultra large scale strike with very, very cheap assets. So if you can find a way to get very small, like $400 to $1,000 drones by the millions above populated areas.
But let me just try to visualize out. So millions of these very low cost drones descending over a populated area.
What you'll see it used for is taking out all of your cell phone towers, taking out all of your high voltage power transformers, taking out your cranes and ports.
I don't know if MG2 listening, but I'm gonna send this to him.
His company, Mach Industries, received a Pentagon development contract and has already raised hundreds of millions of dollars to think outside the military-industrial box. And that means churning out as
Hundreds
many
of millions of
drones as
dollars.
possible. The kinds of
If he had been black, they'd have killed him.
And they'd have
If
killed
he
him in
had
the
been
second.
black, they'd have killed him. If he had been black, they'd have killed him.
Well, they would have took the
Because it's too
idea and then
intelligent.
killed him.
Exactly. Anywhere it go, they would have killed him.
Damn.
battlefield.
We invented a car and they killed a man. Or what they do? They destroyed it, right? Anything we develop that's better than what they got, they die or they steal it or
Crazy.
disappear. Boy, I tell you, these little jokers, boy, this they gift though. War. That's all Trump knows. He doing what he know. That's all they know. Is to kill, steal, and destroy. That is whose attributes are those? Kill, steal, and destroy. Who does that? It'll never change. And y'all marrying these fools and end up dead, they getting off for y'all murders. I'm telling you now. So go ahead on and lock arms and lock rings and lock bodies, whatever. Something happen to you, they gonna walk.
Before drones ruled the skies, Thornton remembers watching the opening moments
Damn,
of the invasion,
we doomed.
realizing warfare was about to change forever.
You have very, very legacy assets, convoy of tanks.
You know what? I'm not even gonna play that for y'all. We need to learn how to not hold their hands first. So, and of course, let's say I get and see you see why we should have played this on the other part, but this is why this is important to talk about this today. You know, there was Paul Cuffey, a brother who got rich,
He
who
was
used the industry against them and got
formerly
money off
enslaved
of it.
man of Akan origin from West Africa. And Ruth Moses, a Native American, began participating in trade along the Atlantic coast, which was based primarily in Massachusetts ports such as New Bedford and Westport, for equal voting rights for Black property owners.
And this is why it's important, Cassidra, because you got Rome in the bush and brothers and sisters, and I appreciate this sister channel too. Y'all support her, Tiffany89. She had I don't know if she still do stuff, but she had a lot of Black history stuff on here, and she be on point.
Okay. In those time periods, right?
Just because we don't have no
Black
time.
organizations.
All right, yeah, I guess I clicked on the exact right part, so it's meant to be, y'all. So we just gonna roll with it.
They would consider themselves the African organization. All right. So many in the midst of slavery, in the midst of Revolutionary War, these Black people who were particularly free Africans decided to come together and create organization to help other Africans to become free and to have something of their own, have their own society, their own union. They can call on, they can primarily focus on the issue that's dealing with only in the Black community. Okay? So everybody was not for integration. Everybody didn't jump on the bandwagon. There was some Black folks say, you know what? If we can't go over there, whatever, let's start our own. We ain't gonna keep begging and begging to be accepted. We gonna create something for ourselves so we can accept us.
Notice how she didn't say begging and begging for what they supposed to be giving us. She said begging and begging to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna pay for everything. They gonna pay, you know what I'm saying? In all forms. But the begging and begging to be accepted. And we was like, we're gonna build our own stuff, you know?
They do for us. That was the mentality that certain Black folks had back then. Okay? So now,
And it's luck that I clicked on that part too. So.
I want to go ahead.
But the sister goes in, so it probably ain't luck. And we can look at it today. I had something here, but I was trying to find the Black schools. We know a lot of the Black schools. I was trying to find something, and I guess it's gone now, yo. So we'll just look at one of them just for the
It can be a lot of fun.
purpose.
We know this, but it is also a crucial life-saving skill. One swim school in Metro Atlanta is dedicated to making sure everyone learns how to do it.
Look at mommy. Good job. Kick, kick, kick.
Welcome to swim school.
We are the largest Black-owned swim school here in Metro Atlanta. And I do say that with great pride.
Trish Miller isn't an expert swimmer who wanted to start an aquatic school for kids and adults. This place is the result of trauma.
Really in response to my own drowning experience in the water. So my background is in public health. So I knew intimately how the statistics affect certain demographics.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, drowning is the #1 cause of death in the United States for children ages 1 to 4. Nearly 70% of Black children do not know how to swim. Black children between the ages of 10 and 14 drown at rates more than 7 times higher than white children.
And so that's why we do the work that we do, focusing on those demographics that have high rates of drowning. SWEM, SWEM, is Afrikaans. We were very intentional on paying homage to really the continent where we all came from, and where unfortunately many of the attitudes, opinions, and feelings that we have around the water originated.
Swim School's curriculum focuses on building connection between
Jump in the water before I go be slaves.
most instructors live in the neighborhoods they serve.
So that people can see themselves in the space, and in many cases know the people that are actually teaching them or guarding the water. And so that creates a manner of trust.
And it's just phenomenal to see so many Black children, young Black children, learning how to swim.
And it looks like they're having fun.
I'll stop it there just for time, but yeah, that's dope, right, Cassidra?
That's dope, but I sure wish they could show us some how to survive this community, how to survive and come and become one. I want to swim, but I still want to learn how to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with swimming, okay? Because you may need it, for where
You
you're
may
going.
need it.
Okay. But I still, what happened to the range, the gun range? It's other things, I want to learn it all. How to invest, how to buy property, how to bring our community, build a community, build schools. These are things that's important in our community. We can swim, it's okay, but teach me how to build a business, teach me how to build a home,
Facts.
teach me how to build a community, and not just how to,
An
swim.
automatic rifle or a
Yeah,
nuclear bomb or
yeah.
something.
The gun range, all that works. But yeah, building the community would have been even better. Building a community school. That's what I want to see. I understand, and then swimming lessons could have been in gym time. But let's concentrate on building communities and building homes and buying land, and that's what's important. I'm telling you, you guys, I'm telling you, I just want to say one thing. You mentioned something about me moving here, right, to the continent. There is so much opportunity here. You can literally sit here and I can tell you 5 things right now that Black folk can get into right now. But if you're building and you have a gift there, you can do it here. I'm telling you, create your business before you leave. Come to the continent and sky is the limit. When I say sky is the limit, I mean just that. Just that. Sky is the limit. You guys go, what can I do when I get there? What are you doing right now? I have one young lady, she never built homes. She's building homes. She came over here and partnered up with somebody in building homes. I'm just saying, it's oh boy, if you guys only knew, fear is holding you back, and fear is keeping you crippled, and fear is keeping you in a country that hates you. When you can come to a continent and start your own business and live your best life.
No,
But go
facts,
ahead. I know
facts.
we didn't get on.
No, that
We
was the
didn't come in
point.
here to talk about that, but I'm just
No,
saying.
no, that was the point. That's why I wanted to talk about this last point, because it's like, and especially you got Rome in the bush, and that's why I was talking about how
Amen.
Black people have created
Yes,
these organizations for
yes,
themselves. And
yes.
Mason says the first thing we need is an agreement with people that want to build. After that, you can have a single-minded focus and achieve anything, and
Exactly.
then work together.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
that's your motivation to build for your
Yes,
child, to build for your
yes,
grandchild,
yes,
and then as a neighborhood, like first you build your home, then you build your
yes,
neighborhood, then you build your
yes,
community, then you build your
yes.
city, then get your state, or and white people in their terms, your state, and then your country, and then you have an army or whatever to protect that nation,
Yes.
and then
You start your army first. Let's do the army first. You
yeah,
got to
you're
do
right.
that. Because
That's how it starts. Yeah.
as you doing all that building, they coming. But your army is
That's
already going to
true.
be trained. Your army is already going to be in place, and they're going to have no trespassing signs up. So if you come past this line, I'm not asking no questions because you see the signs. Because there's plenty. You come past that line, you're done. Seriously, that's what we
Yeah.
have to do first. But I'm telling you,
Facts.
if you have a business or an idea in America, and you see where America's going. You see this war. This is not just war. You guys, this is not just a war. This is not just any old war. You're gonna see bombs. You're gonna see a whole lot of other stuff because the dude in Iran, and it's not gonna all be Iran because you guys have to understand They just caught some Israel, Israelis in Saudi Arabia trying to drop some bombs, and it was going to blame it on Iran. So you have to understand what's getting ready to happen in America. But my thing is, if I'm looking at all of this, my thing right now is to get the hell out. Create your business, do your research, find out where you can go to get the best visa, a 3 to 6 month visa. And in the midst of getting that visa, you can get your residency, or a premium visa. That's called one, like for here, it's a year visa. Okay, and then after then you can get a retirement visa, or you can get a work visa. You create your own business. You can have your, it's so many ways of getting started here in Africa, and people don't have a clue. Even if you have your business in America, you can come over here and still get you a visa, a permit. Especially if you already have your money in the bank and you have a business you're running from the States, why not relocate and have it in the States and here? I have a girlfriend, and that's what she's doing. She works with special needs, and that's what she's doing right now. And getting ready to do some other things. I'm always looking on how I'm building generational wealth for my girls, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to do some things, but I'm telling you, sky is the limit. You think about it, you can do it because it's not here. They are like 20 years behind us, you guys. When I say 20 years, everything is still paperized. Offices, paper, files. Who can come in and create a page where you can put everything electronic for them? You can build a web page or build a network where you can come in and do a government contract and say, okay, I want to come in and in even in the government offices, everything is paper. Everything is on paper. There's in file cabinets, and it's so much information. File cabinets is running over. Who can come in and put that on a computer for them and have a contract and hire people to put it in the computer? I'm telling you, these are contracts that can be done through the government. It's so much. Oh my God, if you guys, I ain't gonna go through everything because I don't want folk, I'm
No,
just
and
saying.
this is why I wanted to do this part while you was on here, and I appreciate Matron for listening this whole time. And I'm about to wrap it up because I know it's been long, but this is important stuff that we need to talk about, And even back then, Black people, and it's important that we know this, that we created our own infrastructure, even in the 1700s. So it's no excuse for us to this very day, and that's why I
Right.
salute Cassidra and all that stuff for building what she built, and
Trim his mustache. Is it?
There's no
like
excuse why we don't do it. There's no excuse forecast why we can't do it. There is
yeah,
no excuse. You making money. If you have, even if you create your business, it's free. You can go to EIN, create your EIN. And even if you like, say for instance, you like cleaning houses. Some people like that. They need that here. They need that here. Cleaning, contract, solar panels, selling solar panels. You create your own company because they need that here because there's so much sun. You don't need, and the electric goes out like crazy, right? Not where I'm at, but I know people of the countries that have, they go, they're in the dark a lot, right? But you can create solar, so when your lights go out, you have solar, or when they're building buildings now, you combine it with the solar, your water, solar, light, solar, you don't have to do the electric. It's so much money to be made here in Africa. I'm telling you. You guys look and you go, oh my God, what can I do? What do you do now? What's your gifts? What's in your heart? What do you always want to do? You come over here and you start it. But make sure you start your business there in the States first, and you can expand it, and it can be your sister company here in Africa, your LTD. I'm just saying. There's so much, so much. Oh my God, you guys don't even know. But if you want to know, you got my email. I think my email's out there.
yeah.
Contact me email wise, and I will be
It's
more
in
than
the
happy
description,
to
y'all.
tell. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to help you to tell you what you can do because right now I'm looking at what's going on and it's not looking good for America. It's not. I mean, you guys get out if you can. Create your own business now, and within 30 days, I would be on a plane. And that's how easy it is. That is how
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. Cassidra was like,
People
"Yo,
say,
I'm
well,
out
how
of
much
here."
money you gonna pay for rent? I'm like, hey, shit, I wasn't waiting. I knew it was coming. And I still know it was coming. They're gonna shut it down. You don't have your passport, you're in trouble because they're getting ready to shut that down too. And you won't be out. I'm serious. People, they're getting ready to shut all that shit down. So I'm gonna
We're
make
doomed.
sure
I
of it.
told you. I already told you we're doomed. It's too late.
I'm keeping hope alive
We
because
could
it's
have
still
we could
time
have
to get
had
out.
it. We could have did it this way, but it's too late for this. But it's
It's
good
good
that we
time.
learn about it.
Good time. It's due time. I'm gonna keep hope alive. Jesse Jackson now.
No, you
Keep
got to
hope
push
alive.
the. Trump had to push the button. It's the white Jesus here. He's here to reset everything. It's white Jesus.
All them pictures coming out with him with them little babies. What in the world? What was he gonna do? What was he gonna do?
I don't
He
expect
had to
nothing
be
less
had
than
to,
no white Jesus to come out pictures with little babies.
you had the priest sucking the baby pee. I'm just saying, what the world? This is their culture. But I'm
I
telling
thought,
you, whatever gifts you have, you come and create it. You can open up your restaurant. You can do so much, and it don't take a whole lot of money to do it, you
no,
guys.
no,
I
no,
promise
Cassidra.
you.
We tried to tell him a long time ago. We tried to tell him the way that you like the cowardly way. It's not even a cowardly way, but we tried to tell you the non-violent way. But now it's too late. Now you ain't got no other choice. So, I don't know what to tell you. But no, but anyway, consider it. This is brothers and sisters all the way back then.
Before anyone called it a movement, Black communities built mutual aid to survive and grow because the system refused to protect them. And if any part of this sounds unbelievable, we document Black history and excellence with covers,
I
shut
bet they
Black
do.
people out, or price them out. On the surface, it looks like one event. Underneath, it's a chain reaction. It also meant community institutions had to do double duty. These organizations weren't charity.
Yeah, so we put our finances together back then. I could play that one next time. About how the white boy, how they use
The name of Gary V. Last name, I ain't gonna mess it up, but we know him as Gary V.
I
So
don't know
he's
who
a
he is,
motivational speaker, entrepreneur, businessman.
but he tells
In
you.
the last 40 years in America compared to before because of the rise of sport and entertainment and just the culture. I mean, the culture. The culture is Black culture. And then it becomes culture. I always say to my brands, you want me to sell to 14-year-old white girls in America? I'm going to Southside Atlanta, making it cool there, and I'll see you in 24 months.
Did you see the SNL, the news report? And it was a young white actor, I don't know who he is, and he said, he's like, let's be real. He said, Gen Z culture is just Black culture. He said, Black people take something and they make it cool. He's like, and then young teenagers see it and they start to utilize it, and then it becomes a thing.
And it's starting to blend. Adversity is the foundation of success.
But they don't tell you that they make it into money and you make it into a dance or whatever, that they get paid off of.
Exactly. Exactly.
Consider I have to play this last part, and I know it's gonna turn you up a little bit before we get off of here, and it's too late for it, but I have to say, because I show her now, there was like Elizabeth Freedmen, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the Freedmen versus the Slavemen, you know what I'm saying? We became slave people. But a part of that was accepting Christianity and saying that as Christian you can't enslave me for life, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of cheating you out a little bit, maybe, of like playing her thing, so y'all can look up Elizabeth Freedman and her story and how she sued for freedom back in the day. And then also how it was rare for people and how it didn't really work. So I guess I probably should is not I shouldn't, people will use it for evil, but a lot of people accepted Christianity behind this, you know what I'm saying? um they said a lot of information that says that Black people watch Black people because we are a signal market, meaning if we resonate with it, then it's scalable to a large market, and they use that to finance our own destruction at the end of the day, and it's because of this. Now, a lot of Black people accepted this thing of, well, maybe if I accept Christianity, I can file a lawsuit for my freedom. And then it came out to like this today.
Politics are making folks lost. Folks are losing their minds because of politics. Families hate each other because of different political stances. Black people going to hell because they hate Trump. You're going to hell if you hate. Look at that. See, somebody like, God will let us hate him. No!
I hear that quite often.
Is that true? I've never seen that in there, where it says if you hate something, Even God hated.
Ridiculous. The woman was dancing to get real. What?
Oh, crap.
Black. Because they hate Trump. You know, you're going to hell if you hate. Look at that. See, somebody like.
This is what trying to file for your freedom suit. We are being Christian got us.
They hate him like they know him. They hate him like
It
he
says, slaves, obey your master.
I mean, hate him. How you doing, sister? Oh, I'm doing good. I'd be feeling a lot better if Trump, what did he do?
This is why Jesus we
I
talking
mean,
about
he
here.
just out there doing whatever he want to do. He's the president.
Oh.
If he gets voted, Biden could have done whatever he wanted to do. If he was
He did.
Oh, I can't do that. We on a fast. The president, the
Lord
president.
have mercy. Lord, Cassidra. I'm
I
sorry
don't
to
even know
do
what
that.
you're saying.
You're going to hell if you hate Trump, because you heard him.
Oh my, he's the Trumpster, huh? Oh my God. Oh Lord, when are we gonna wake up? Please, why are we talking about Trump? We could be talking about building. How we gonna build the next generation? What we gonna do for the next generation? What legacy we gonna leave them? That's what we should be talking about. We shouldn't be wasting time on talking about Trump this, Trump that. Let's talk about building. What's the, like we said, the Black Swim School. Let's talk about building the next community. That's what the topic should be.
Facts.
Period.
Facts.
Much a man spent more than 2 decades behind bars for a crime he didn't commit.
And this is the problem, though, with accepting this Christianity. How many years? He just said 21 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit and got $1 million for it.
About just being in the moment.
And listen to what he said.
Is one that Ralph Blaine Smith.
But wait,
It wasn't
the
as
one that
bad
he
as I
said they didn't
thought.
even know what the crime that was committed? Ain't this the one where they said he went to jail for 21 years, but they didn't even, they said it might not have even been a crime that was committed. What the hell? What are you trying to tell us? The man went to jail for what? Absolutely nothing for 21 years? And you just got $1 million? Oh, somebody got to pay for this.
Well, listen to
And
what
it's
he
gonna
says.
cost you more than $1 million. Okay, go
Cassidra,
ahead.
are you sure you want? Because listen to what he
Hell
says
no, I
now.
ain't sure. Hell no, I ain't sure. Go ahead. No, I ain't sure. You already know I ain't sure because that nigga finna make it okay. That's why his ass
It
went to
wasn't
jail
as
for
bad
21
as I
years.
thought. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but I don't know. You might think so.
Ralph Blaine Smith.
Little things like that mean the world to you, you know.
Won't just let go.
This means a lot just to be free, you know.
Free from serving 2 decades of a 67-year sentence. The craziest part to him, for a crime he didn't do, let alone possibly even happened.
I think about
Oh my God.
And I think about like, wow, I just did 21 years.
February 2nd, 2000. Smith was accused of being one of 2 black men that committed a home robbery in Pickerington. He tells me somehow his name was thrown into the mix.
You see that white girl line?
4 years old at the time. Smith spent years in Marion Correctional Institution, missing time with his family, missing those special moments.
I couldn't take another minute of being in there. Yeah. I had many times like that. I was like, if another minute goes by and I'm in here, I'm going to go crazy. I'm losing my mind.
But he knew he was innocent. And that's when he started going to the law library, trying to find a way to prove it. But in 2020, he sent a letter to an office on South High Street.
When I read about his
Judge in Fairfield County granted a new trial in 2021 because evidence was withheld, decided to drop all charges. For compensation, Smith was awarded $1.3 million from the state.
Try to say it like it was a lot. $1.3 million.
2 years in prison. But it eases things a little bit, and there's no other way to measure damages.
But this moment,
French fries.
French fries.
Yeah.
Smith says more people with similar stories
All right, I guess I missed it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. He was like, yeah, I'm grateful for it.
Is one that Ralph Blaine.
He's not angry.
He said he's not angry. He said he's not angry about it.
Only 1 year.
And after all those years behind bars, Ralph Blaine Smith tells me he's not angry, but grateful.
There you go, Cassidra. After all that, he's not angry, but grateful.
After the 20, how many years he lost? Well, he's
21.
grateful. Grateful for what? That's what I don't understand. What you grateful for?
He's not angry. I'm angry for you, brother. So he said
Exactly.
Mason said they strategically took all our warriors off the street by incarcerating or military indoctrination, including the police, making them unavailable to mate is a part of their plan. You can't get part back that time, and that's a black man that wasn't
Exactly.
allowed to build a family. What you think about this, Cassidra? What this brother is doing here? And then this is the last thing we're gonna go.
Sir, you don't have ID?
This is hilarious. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it.
Are you sure you live here? Oh, okay. You have ID? Do you have ID? Sir. You don't have ID? Yeah, come out here and talk to me real quick. No. Yeah, it's been a string of robberies and the description kind of fits you.
Get out of my face.
No. Come step out. Yeah. Look, I don't care about this. This little mad look. I don't care about that. Get your out of here.
What you doing?
I told you what I'm doing. Yeah, you lucky.
Baby, bust down, squat that ass, men and old.
Yo, I can watch this all day.
You see what I'm saying? Did you see how he give him any conversation? He walked away, right? That's exactly what we should be doing. When they come up to you and they start asking you shit, just look at it, give them that look, like if you don't get the hell back, okay? And walk away. You don't owe them no explanation. You don't even have to talk to them. You can act just like you deaf. That's one time when you be like, don't speak English and walk away.
No hablo.
Exactly. Whatever. No something. And walk the hell off. I don't owe you no explanation. I don't even, if I don't feel like talking, I don't. Seriously. Because they got too much. They sit up there and look at you. They'll drop something and expect you to pick it up. No. We have to give them back what they've been giving to us all these years.
And
I'm gonna rest with that one.
and just for the record, why the children? This is why,
to their homeland. When time comes, I will send them back to their homeland, Africa. I have nothing against them.
Why will God send them to Africa?
Because all the races will go back to their homeland.
Well, where do whites go? This used to belong to
whites stay here, New Jerusalem, America.
Excuse me, in New Jersey.
No, New Jerusalem.
Where do whites go?
Okay, Native Americans.
The cold jungles and the desolate, disgusting caves that they come from,
which we used to
they
call
crawled
Indians.
out of.
They were here first. We have to get out.
No, all the suntan companies would be out of business. Destroyed.
So when are you leaving? Okay, I'll listen.
That's right. When you leaving? Bye.
Don't ask
Bye,
me
Felicia.
why. Don't ask me why the kids no more. I'm just saying. Yeah. Now I apologize, Cassidra, for making this so long. So you want to say anything to wrap everything up?
You know what? Only thing I want to do, I want to just say, is we have to really keep our focus and really think about what you're looking at right now. What's really happening in America right now? What does your future look like? If it looks like it's bright and shiny, then stay. But if not, think about a way to get out. Because if they shut these borders, which they're planning on doing, and I'm gonna keep saying it, what you gonna do? You're in the middle of winter. Can you live outside for 30 days? What you gonna do? What's your plan? You got enough food in your house to last? Are you planting food? Do you have your own garden? What is your plan? Do you have a plan? If you don't, you need to get one real soon. Because I don't think they meant to do this war, and they didn't think it was going to be the way it is now, because it's looking real bad. Because I thought, America thought, okay, we're going to get in there, we're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to keep moving. No, I need you guys to have a plan, a way of escape. And I know this is kind of off topic, but you got to keep that in your forefront of your mind. Because we're not doing these shows just to entertain you. I'm not getting up at 6 in the morning. Okay, I stayed up late last night. I could have skipped this morning because got up late. I stayed up late. But it's still important because I want Black folk to understand how serious we are in a 911. And this is serious. But I don't think we understand how serious because we don't see the nukes yet in America. But what did the Iranian president say? I mean, his son. That's his son, right? You just killed his whole family. The dad, his sister, and the niece, right? And you think this dude don't have it out for America? Y'all be careful, because it's coming to America real soon. So y'all have a way of an escape. I'm just saying. And I'm going to rest with that, because I think we talk about this all the time. I think we've talked enough. They know what to do. They know what they need to do. But are you ready to do it? Some are not. But if you stay, are you ready for what the consequences of not getting out? Because what's getting ready to happen is stuff that we have never saw before come to America. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I never thought it could get this bad. But it's going to get real bad. So what's your plan? Or do you have a plan? And if you don't have a plan, get a plan. Okay? I'm going to rest with that. Thanks for the time. Okay, thanks for the time.
Well, no, I have to say to you, Cassidra, I apologize because I missed Wednesday too. So I really have to thank you for your time, and especially because I took extra long today too. So I really salute you for like getting up early and all that stuff and everything you got to do, to come on here. So I appreciate you coming through for me every time. And I would say this, considering I would only have you. That's crazy that like I would have you and like Matron and maybe Anthony, and that's it. Like when it comes to like you know. And if you want to be getting in on the fun on all these rednecks that be talking, just let me know. I got a whole bunch of them trying to come at me. So if you want to have fun, just let me know.
Oh yeah, it's always about fun. It's always, I'm ready. I'm here for it. We
Yeah.
can't let
So
them we can't let them double team you now.
no, I'm enjoying every second of it. It's fun, but and yeah, and definitely like you said, like and creating and all the stuff that we got to do, and if it's freedmen versus slavemen, then we definitely are slaves. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know what else. And that's the reason why I started talking about Black history instead of talking about like I tried to be like building legacies and try to be like, hey, let's do these things talking about and Cassidra tried to be like, hey, let's go to the schools and nobody showed up except for Bakari, you know what I'm saying? And Matron came through when I was trying to do my thing, and Cassidra came through, and Bakari came through. But other than that, like people just like so. Let's just talk about the history part because it's going to repeat itself over and over until we learn our lesson. Um, and I guess for my last words, I'll just let this brother have the last words. Um, if it works, let's go.
That's the Messiah. Now who wanted to prevent the rise of somebody who could save you?
We here though.
That is the pinnacle of wickedness. Here, Hoover's fathers brought you out of Africa. That's right. Come on. Hoover's people sentenced you to mental death by robbing us of self-knowledge. This is the greatest crime that white people could have committed against us. Listen, to rob us health. Take away our history, our connection to our past, so that by not knowing what was, we couldn't determine what is, and we were not ready for what was to come. By that robbery, we would be perpetual slaves of white people, and we would never be able to be redeemed. And
however, we are here to tell you that was some bullshit, and they gonna pay for everything that they did in all facets, money or blood debts, whatever. They gonna pay all of it. So we here to tell you that that was a lie. You know what I'm saying? So they can never stop you. They can't even go into the sun on a nice day without putting cream on our skin. And they can stop you. Stop it. Come on. Like, think about it. It doesn't make sense. So thank you again. Y'all support Realm in the Bush. And yeah, I do have the book Black History stuff, so y'all can get that. You know what I'm saying? The next part will probably be about the Jim Crow part, and the next part will be about whatever, and then the last part will be like modern day times. You know what I'm saying? All the way up to like Obama and Trump and them on the last part. So I appreciate all of y'all for listening, and as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace, family.